Bump and Stacy
Weekdays 10 to 2.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. As a reminder, Ryan's weekly visit brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Ryan, I don't want to spend too much time on the decision to bring in Bizzardo, and rather the rest of our interview is going to mostly focus on how they move forward or what they do here. But I do have to ask you about it. Were you surprised to see the move?
Yeah, I was. I think it's like all of us, like 99.999% of human beings that weren't in the dugout at the time and were having the conversations, or the voices to the left and right, and to some of the decisions being made, or some of the game prep going into that decision, and the 50 different scenarios that could have played out. Yeah, I was a little surprised. And again, it's a situation where until I'm in the dugout and in that moment at that game speed, I can have an opinion, but I just really don't know what really goes on, and no one does, even though I've played. And so that's why, looking back at it, it's surprised, yes. I was a little surprised, when George Kirby came out. I know that Dan wanted to be a batter ahead, so I understand that. He didn't want to get to a situation where he was behind. I was a little on some of the decision-making, so they scripted that 4 innings, third time through, whatever it may be, but I thought George was starting to look better and better, and, but again, he would have gotten, if George went back after that fifth and it wasn't Brian Wu in the game, and then there's a home run or whatever it may be, you get scorched for that too. So, but yeah, there's so many things to look at, and I've dissected that game and the whole series, over and over and over. And just, I know you don't want to spend too much time on it, but yeah, it's tough to win a 7-game series when you're starting pitching that you're really going to lean on heavily. Outside of Bryce Miller, just wasn't good. No one got an out in the 5th inning outside of Bryce Miller in the whole series. That's really tough sledding if that's going to be your foundation. And then you're going to have to lean so heavily on that bullpen, who, by the way, actually had some pretty good numbers, especially against that offense. So, tough one. I go back and forth, mixed emotions, as do everyone who I run into in public outside of T-Mobile Park, especially. There's some very mixed emotions, that's for sure.
They take 2 games to start the series, and we're feeling really good about it, right? I think Stacy was spitting me the numbers. 86% of the time they go on to win this series. And I was telling Stacy, I go, I'm just hands over my ears. La 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 la. Don't talk to me. Like I don't care about the numbers. I want to see what these guys can do and to handle the pressure. Where was the tipping point for you? What was the moment where you felt like, okay, they might be in trouble here. They might need to muster up some magic to make this happen?
There was a couple. You mentioned the 2-game lead going back to Seattle. And look, and I want to make sure this sounds correct and everyone can relate to this. When you're in a situation where you get up 2 games, whether you're playing foosball with your 6-year-old or you're playing in ALCS, you have that subconscious feeling to say, you know what, I'm in the driver's seat right now. I can start kind of expanding on some of my options, as opposed to every single pitch is going to be do or die or magnified. And there was a couple moments there, right? You talk about the tipping point. I've brought this up a few times. George Kirby pitching in Game 3 and some of the pitch decisions and the mindset is extremely different to George Kirby pitching in Game 7. The one example I like to throw out there is the ball. Remember the ball Vlad Guerrero nearly it was a double off the wall. Like it nearly went through the wall. It was crushed, right? That was a breaking ball, middle of the plate. It was kind of hung up in the strike zone. Well, if you go back to that count, that's George Kirby trying to get to a good count to get to 2 strikes and put him away. That's George Kirby trying to have, a little bit more sequencing, as opposed to a Game 7 George Kirby where it's the 1st inning, 9th inning. Every pitch I need to get swing and miss. Every pitch is so magnified. It's just and it's not because you sit there going, oh, well, you should have been more intense. It's not about that. It's more about the fact that you're Game 3, simply put. And I think, and that goes for everyone. So that was one moment where I was like, man, okay, this is going to be an interesting 3 games due to the fact that you're walking out of Toronto with that giant cushion. It's just a simply put a different mindset. Mm-hmm. And then in Game 4, when all of a sudden you had Max Scherzer, who looked really good man. I'm telling you. Look, I know everyone talks about how bad he was in September. He was making some pitches. And on the flip side, at that point, I was like, this is so pivotal. You're either 2-2 or you're 3-1. You go 3-1, man, you all of a sudden, you don't have to – the margins aren't so razor thin. And then you had Luis Castillo on the other side. He just simply didn't match Max Scherzer. At the end of that game 4, I'm like, man, this team, they're back to square one, and they're in trouble. Why? Because offensively, the Blue Jays were better than the Mariners. Better contact, better clutch hitting, better with runners in scoring position, and everything else. Starting pitching, simply put, at that point, they were better than the Seattle Mariners. You had Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer, who a couple guys that are your plan D. Max Scherzer wasn't even on the roster for the ALDS. All of a sudden, those guys are putting you away. So every facet of that, this ALCS, the Blue Jays were simply better than the Mariners. Maybe the Mariners could beat them a little bit in the bullpen, right? And so I'm looking at that going, now we're back to square one. That to me was like, okay, they're in trouble and they're going to have to fight for their lives here, and they have to be perfect. They have to have every decision made has to be perfect, just like the one we saw in that inning when Bizzardo came in. And that was, to me, it's going to be tough sledding because that Blue Jays team offensively are on an absolute mission.
Being able to right themselves emotionally and mentally and get ready for a 2026 is kind of on the players. No one else can control that, and wish them the best of luck. That is incredibly difficult. But being able to alter the lineup and alter the team are things that a front office has control over. Knowing that there was a talent gap, whether it's in contact, strikeouts, whatever it was, is there an area that you left this game thinking, God, this has to be a priority for the offseason?
Man, I've gone back and forth on okay, who's coming up through the system. You have, first of all, I will say this. Look, and I know everyone's referenced Jeff Passan already, but I agree with him. He said, this is more of and it's hard to swallow right now, right, if you're a Mariners fan, but this is honestly a start of a good run. Obviously, if they can fix some of the things around on the margins, this is a team that got to Game 7 of the ALCS, and the core of this roster is not going anywhere under team control. As much as everyone hates that term, man, I'm telling you right now, the fact that you didn't have to give up your entire farm system at the trade deadline, like some teams did. Texas Rangers, for example, had to give up some big prospects to get Merrill Kelly, right, in a situation where you're teetering to get to the playoffs. The Mariners didn't have to give up really anything to get 2 players in Gino Suarez and Josh Naylor. I'll get to the free agents in just a moment. But you're looking at this going, okay, you've kind of bridged the gap in the minor leagues with the position players, where now all of a sudden some of these guys are ready in 26 and 27, maybe make an impact at the end of 26. Also, you got some pitching that can make an impact by the time you get to midway through 2026. And so I think that when you talk about the core of this team, nothing has to really be dismantled outside of some of the free agents, looming free agency that you have, right? And obviously Naylor, Suarez, and, a couple others. Like, for example, you've got a team option on Andres Munoz, who this is kind of the last year of his deal. You're the only free agents you've really given up Luke Jackson and Caleb Ferguson. It's like, whoa. And then obviously, some of the rentals you had to go along with it. So you look at that core and say, all right, these guys have been through it. They've been through these last couple of years. We really have a good idea of how they manage, pitching-wise especially, how they manage a 6-month season. Now we can work around the edges a little bit more. Now, I know that if you go back a year ago at this point, everyone's like, okay, you got to spend big in the free agent market and everything else. Well, the Mariners, in my opinion, at this point, can get a little bit more flexible, potentially with a trade. Now, in regards to some of the pitching they've got, what I mean by that is the easiest way for them to really bring on and recruit exactly what they want, and you don't have to overspend on years or one of these contracts that in 3 years you're just like, oh, God, we have to deal with this, with an aging free agent, is a situation where you can now look and say, all right, this is what we got in Castillo, this is what we've got in Brian Wu, Kirby, Gilbert, and so on. This is what we've got coming up. We can start, and I said last year, man, I'm so happy they didn't. They weren't willing to give up that starting 5. Maybe it cost them a little bit because there's a lot of injuries. But now all of a sudden, I think, in my opinion, you're in a situation you can be a little bit more flexible with that because you're a year on. Some of the values have changed a little bit, And now you can get and look, pitching. Everyone wants it. Everyone knows what these guys are made up of. Yeah. So now you get a little bit more aggressive. So I think the biggest impact you will make is via trade, not so much via free agency. Just like, and I know everyone wants to roll their eyes with that, but I'm telling you, in order to get that good, controllable player that is going to make an impact now, 26 and 27, stick with that course so you can have that good run as opposed to just dismantling a team at the end of 2026. I think that via trade is going to be the way to go, and you can get a little bit more flexible with what you got.
Ryan's Weekly Visit brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Thanks, Ryan. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
All right, coming up next, the Mariners window is still open, but there's a major factor that keeps it open longer.
Hawks Live. Touchdown! Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Happy 40th birthday to us at Pacific Power Batteries. Since 1985, we've learned that our customers seem to appreciate product knowledge and helpful advice about anything battery related. At Pacific Power Batteries, we like to sponsor smaller community causes and teams because they have a real community connection, sort of like a battery to a starter. Does that make sense? I'm Steve Alman, and all of us hope to connect with you soon at one of our Pacific Power Batteries stores.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, choose care that puts you first. At Snoqualmie Valley Health, you won't wait weeks for a mammogram. Appointments are available now, just 30 minutes east of Seattle. Experience the difference with advanced 3D mammography and our new Breast Health Suite, designed for accuracy, comfort, and peace of mind. If you're 40 and older, yearly screenings are recommended, and no referral is needed if you haven't had a mammogram in the past year. Don't wait. Detect early. Schedule today at SnoqualmieValleyHealth.org.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Sparta's Pizza reminds parents 460,000 children are reported missing in our country every year. Please plan with your kids a safe, visible route to and from activities with at least one friend. Coach your kids to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings, and caution your children to never accept gifts or rides from strangers. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Sparta's Pizza and Spaghetti House, serving the best pizza in the universe in Linwood, Bothell, and Mill Creek, or find them online at spartaspizza.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yahoo Sports' Jordan Schusterman was on with us yesterday, and we asked him about the Mariners' window. All of this was prompted by Jeff Passan joining Brock and Solak, saying it's the beginning and not an end. And Jordan said that, yeah, he can absolutely see that, but it's predicated on one thing for him: the health of the rotation.
But the pitching is a big part of it, too. I mean, that's the part of the window that we're really talking about, and that's the part of the window, especially when we talked about last season feeling like a missed opportunity. That's where it starts to get a little bit more dicey from a health standpoint. But in terms of the position player core and a lot of what they have in place and what they have coming, and they do have more pitching coming, I feel like this is going to be a longer runway, but it is a little bit delicate in that sense. I definitely understand.
Absolutely agree. So this was also Bump, so that listeners remember when we were talking with Jordan about the Royals, when they went there in 2014, lost, got back and won it in 2015. And he said, yeah, and I feel like, though, the Mariners have a little more going for them. They've got more players under club control. Their pitching rotation is just better, and it's also younger. But that's where the key lies. Not only is your identity, hey, we want to be a good pitching team, you have to make sure that those guys are healthy. And whether or not Cal hits 50 bombs or whatever it is, your pitching has to be good in 2026. So,
and that's just something you can't control. You just you pray. You sit there and you pray to the pitching gods that if a pitcher were to get banged up, it's early, so you have time to rehab and get back. I mean, I think we all look at the injury of Wu and think of what could have been if Wu wasn't injured, if his pec didn't get all jacked up, if he had more time to recover. I mean, when we heard him talk about, it was like a week before, he goes, yeah, maybe next week. We're like, next week? Next week? Who knows if we're going to be here next week? We thought, obviously, there was a good chance that the Mariners would be there, but that Wu thing jacked us up a little bit.
I thought he'd be able to have a start in the ALCS.
Yeah. And then you go further back, right? Santos. I don't even know what Santos can do. I ain't seen Santos since 75. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what Santos can do. The one or two times I saw him, I felt good about him. I love his swag, his attitude. I'm like, all right, let's see what goes on there. I mentioned this other day.
Since
Thornton.
75.
Thornton, a guy who was ups and downs, smiles and frowns, right? But when he was on, he was good. Just what does this rotation, what does the bullpen look like, and everyone can stay healthy, which is not realistic. The reason why we kind of cling on to that is because we saw it one year and it was magical and we wasted that year. That's partly the reason why management didn't go as hard as they we thought they could go was because they felt, oh, look, we got a rotation. That'll take care of everything. It's not likely everyone makes it through the season without going through something, but the timing of the injuries are crucial, and that is something you just cannot control.
Here's what Robert Flores and Cliff Floyd on MLB Network said the Mariners should do this offseason.
I'm going to say they need to add more contact.
That's fair.
They were
That's
so
fair.
reliant on the home run throughout the season, and I think we saw that kind of come back to bite them a little bit in the postseason. I think it's very difficult. I mean, home runs are the currency of the postseason, but look at what the Blue Jays are doing and what the Blue Jays did to them.
Yeah, well, I like that. I like manufacturing, but when you watch the game and you seeing slug everywhere, you're like, well, maybe you buy into what you see. Yeah, I don't think you can give up what you have from a rotation standpoint and that window closed without adding infield slug or infield some version of giving you what Naylor's bring or giving you what Suarez can bring you. So you have to upgrade there. If it's Josh Naylor, then you have to find a slugger or, that's qualified to play third.
If keep the window open and get to a World Series, plan 1A is your pitching is good and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Then 1B, and this is more about what the front office acquires, is adding more contact. Bump, what do you think?
I like that. I think more contact near the bottom of the order. I think you can have both. You can have your power 1 through 6, and then 7, 8, 9, get some slappers out there. I'm completely fine with that because that's essentially how you lost to the Blue Jays is that they had their power. Man, I saw a stat. Vlad had more home runs and strikeouts that whole series. That's ridiculous.
Has been absolutely
ridiculous.
insane.
Respect. I watched your dad play with no gloves, and now watching you do your thing is crazy to me. But I think that they're completely right. I don't think you get away from the home runs. Home runs are going to win you ball games. Home runs kept you in some games. But it's nice just to have the utility or just the average type of ball player at the bottom of the order who's going to be solid defensively and is going to put the ball in play so your bats can flourish. I mean, I'll say it again. You were completely right. I was fighting the top of the order got to get going. These guys got to get.
They did their job.
You're like, no, I think the bottom needs to go. I go, well, the top will set up the bottom and take some pressure off, and that's just not how it happened. And I'm frustrated because you got to the bottom, and I had no hope.
Yeah.
Toronto, their fans, they got to the bottom. They're like, we're good.
Yeah, they were like, we got this, no problem. But when you saw that 2 of the final 3 outs, and I mean no disrespect to these players whatsoever, that 2 of the final 3 outs of your season were going to be Leo Rivas and Dom Canzone.
I had no faith.
Well, I just thought like, oh God, if they could just get to Julio. Julio comes up, getting pitches well outside the zone, and you're thinking like, oh, just take a couple here, take a couple, let Cal, and then Cal finishes the season on deck. And speaking of Cal and speaking of Julio, these are guys that, well, I know that people will point to that final AB, but Julio did his job. Cal did his job. Josh Naylor did his job. And for anyone, I don't think this is a majority of fans, but for anyone saying, oh, once in a while they just got to get on base, those guys are doing their job. That's what they're being paid to do. That's what they can do. They have power. You're going to strike out a little bit more because you're trying to get that power. That's just how it's going to happen. You need to add the contact to the bottom of the lineup. You need to add the contact with, if you don't bring back Polanco, like a second baseman that you have, or you move JP and you add a shortstop, whatever it is, or maybe it's Emerson who comes up at the end of the year. I don't know. But I do agree that you absolutely just need more contact, and it cannot simply be asking Julio and Cal to do more.
Nah, you know what contact is? It's the run game. Get your run game going.
Gotta get it going.
Average 3.5.
Gotta get it going. Okay, well, speaking of the run game, well, this isn't a good transition. Speaking of football, should Sam Darnold be part of the MVP conversation? That's next.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan with Brock and Salk.
If you are in the Mariners front office, what are you spending your offseason focusing on?
This feels like a beginning, not an end. I see this being the beginning of the best run in the history of this franchise. The sheer number of really good prospects that the Mariners have lead me to believe that they're going to be in this position again.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, October 25th. Curated by racing legend Steve Saleen, this high-octane exhibition features icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. Don't miss it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
The fall, well, it's a great time to reset your workouts on new stuff, and Top Fitness has some great deals going on right now. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've heard me talk about working out in your home gym. It's the best. From flooring to everything that goes in that gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, well, Top Fitness provides it all. Top Fitness represents the very best brands available, like Washington's own Precor, yes, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with so many others. Give Top Fitness your room dimensions right now, and you know what? They'll do the rest. They'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing. Mention you heard it from me and receive an additional $100 off any new treadmill or home gym. It's no secret that everyone, from personal trainers to professional athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit them online at topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Stacy here, and I have had a horrible experience selling and buying a car. That's real. So trust me when I say I know a good experience when I see and feel it. Selling that old car or getting a new one from a place you can trust does make a difference. And that's been my experience at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. These are real people I'm talking about here. Mark and Chris have been absolutely wonderful. I also met The Way himself. They all care about making sure you have a hassle-free, low-pressure experience. And they mean it, because you can sell your old car to Wayscar Ford, get paid for it that day, and then get a second check when they split the profit of selling that car with you. You can also explore a competitive selection for your new ride and upgrade like I did. I upgraded to a 2025 Bronco Sport, heated steering, all-wheel drive, leather interior. I'm obsessed. Wayscar Ford is family-owned and operated for 103 years in Auburn. Lifetime powertrain on all new Fords, never any pressure. If you change your mind within 5 days or 500 miles, take it back for a 100% refund. WayscarFord.com.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the comfort people at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Tim Hunter, former Seattle radio goofball here with 2 words that aren't funny. Prostate cancer. Get your annual checkup. Keep an eye on that PSA number. And if you hear those 2 words like I did, talk to the folks at Swedish Cyberknife. 5 treatments, minimally invasive and technologically advanced over the other options. If you were a friend, and I consider you one, I'd highly recommend Swedish Cyberknife. We are so lucky to have them right here in town. Do your research, but definitely visit swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Biggest sports story of the day, Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested as part of a years-long investigation into illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia. Billups was one of 34 people arrested. Multiple charges involve 4 mafia families and organized crime networks. The Blazers announced this morning Billups has been placed on immediate leave.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Is Sam Darnold part of the MVP conversation? We're going to get this started by taking a listen to what someone else had to say. This was Chris Canty on ESPN Radio.
To win MVP, you've got to be top 2 in your respective conference, and you obviously have to win your division. Do we think the Seattle Seahawks can do those things? I absolutely do, especially when you consider that the Seahawks are in the most competitive division in all of football. So if they check the box in all 3 of those qualifiers, then Sam Darnold can absolutely win MVP. Again, Seattle can have a top 2 record in the NFC. If Seattle can win their division, then Sam Darnold can absolutely win the MVP.
Now, Bump, I also think that's certainly possible. I mean, these aren't my power rankings. This is from Eric Edholm from NFL Network. He has the Seahawks as the 4th best team in his power rankings and the 2nd team in the NFC. Check. Again, that would have to hold true for the entirety of the season. Let's say that they win the NFC West. I mean, why not? All 3 top teams are tied at 5-2 there. All right, for right now, they're holding firm. What else needs to factor in here for Darnold, though?
Man, he's got to bounce back from subpar performances. I think he had his worst performance so far this year. Last week, it was a collective effort, not all just him. But when you're the quarterback, the responsibility, or the bulk of it is going to fall on you, right? Mm-hmm. You got to just keep winning and keep doing it in a responsible fashion. At this point, I got Dak in the mix. I got Matthew Stafford in the mix. Of course, Patrick Mahomes in the mix. You got to throw Indiana Jones in there as well, and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
he's in the conversation, but he's not controlling the conversation. You know, he's not the voice. He's not getting to know people and asking questions. He's sitting at the table and just observing and listening to everyone, and every now and then throwing a laugh or a giggle in the conversation. But he can get there.
That's how I am in a group chat.
Doubt it.
You just got to let people know you're there.
You are not that in a
what
group chat.
What are you talking about?
You mean like on your phone?
Yeah, respectfully quiet.
Or in person?
Yeah, I'm always.
In person, you are not quiet.
I'm a quiet person.
Okay.
You're a certified yapper.
I'm not talking for the rest of the segment.
Don't lie to the people.
But no, there's some things that he can do. I mean, his last game, again, it was a team loss. It wasn't just on him, but he completed 54% of his passes.
Yeah.
Right? Before that, the week before, it was 59%. Before that, it was 82 and 77. So the thing that keeps people on the Sam Darnold bandwagon is his efficiency. If he's efficient, he has an opportunity. And you have the most explosive receiver on your team, so there are going to be plays that you can wow people. He has one of the best arms in the NFL. I stand by that, along with Paul Moyer. He has the tools, but like Canty said, it's a team award as well. Your team has to check some boxes, and Sam's goal is just to continue to be efficient with the football.
Justin Herbert leading the league in yards right now, but he's got 6 interceptions. The Chargers feel like they're kind of plummeting in the AFC West, so taking him out of the conversation. Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, and Baker Mayfield feel like leaders in the clubhouse, with guys like Drake May and Daniel Jones being kind of those dark horses, mostly because of their age in the case of May or the team he's on, or in Daniel Jones in the case that he's kind of a reclamation project and people kind of have to adapt to a new narrative. But those guys are all top 10 in passing yards, touchdowns, and Sam Darnold is as well. He's number 7. If you flip it and you look at passer rating, maybe something that might be a little more indicative of how efficient a passer he is. Well, now he's 5th. If you flip it and you look at maybe completion percentage over expected, well, now you're talking top 4. If you're looking at EPA per play, well, now you're talking top 4 as well. So I wonder if Sam Darnold is being hurt by, in addition to his worst game being his last game, that's a huge factor. I wonder if he's also being hurt by the fact that he's in an offense that's not necessarily trying to throw the ball a ton. The pass and run play split for Seattle, is as close to 50-50 as it is compared to any of these other guys. Matthew Stafford being asked to pass it a ton. The Rams are also not an especially effective run game right now. Now, the Lions do have an incredibly effective run game. Jared Goff is also just cooking with Amon-Ra St. Brown right now. They completely blew out the Bucs, and that MVP debate, if you're looking at Goff versus Baker Mayfield, kind of had some answers from that one if you wanted to draw from that narrative. I just think Sam Darnold should be like a dark horse candidate. He's certainly not a front runner, not to me. And there may be Seahawks fans out there that have him as one. I do not think he's a front runner right now, nor do I think he should be. Patrick Mahomes is putting up numbers right now. You have other guys that are putting up numbers, but I think he should be part of the bigger conversation. I do not think you can have a big conversation about quarterbacks that are bringing their team's value without mentioning Sam Darnold, in part because Seattle's run game is not taking off. So if you want to talk about a team that's a quarterback that's benefiting from his run game, look at Jared Goff.
All quarterbacks, right? And unless you're Pat Mahomes, most of your quarterbacks are going to benefit from the run game.
Sure.
Pat kind of does it all on his own. You look at all of those quarterbacks, maybe Baker Mayfield, I'm not sure what their run game is like right now. But I'd say 8 out of the top 10 quarterbacks are going to be relying on the run game. I was looking at just because there's a trend going on in this league right now. There's about 5 to 8 teams that are running the same type of offense. And it's the Shanahan tree, it's the McVay tree. So I'm going back and I'm looking to find if there are quarterbacks who have won that award in that system. The furthest back I can go is 2016 Matt Ryan, but Shanahan was I believe was just the quarterback coach then, or he might have been the old coordinator. Either way, that's as far back as we've gone. We've seen a quarterback who can win the MVP in this offense. And why is that? It's because this isn't a straight down the field type of offense. It's not the Andy Reid type of offense. It's not the Matt LaFleur type of offense where you're throwing the ball directly down the field. There are opportunities to do that. It's an offense that relies on deception and the run game going. It's going to be more of a balanced type of attack. When you look at guys who win the MVPs, it's like this guy's throwing the ball 35 times a game, 40 times a game, and we need him to win. In this type of offense, you just need to be efficient to win ball games. And now, the clean, efficient game with 250 yards and 1 touchdown, no interceptions, isn't going to grab the attention of the MVP voters and say, that's an MVP. MVP has the wow factor, has a scrambling to the right, throw it across his body, has the 340-yard games with 3 or 4 touchdowns. I don't think Sam is going to have opportunities to have that type of performance.
Why not? They don't have a rusher right now. They don't have a top 5 rusher on their team.
Because you don't need to have a top 5 rusher on the team to have success. We're seeing that.
But you can benefit from it. Dak Prescott has Javonte Williams, number 2 right now in rushing yards. Daniel Jones has Jonathan Taylor, number 1 right now in rushing yards. Jared Goff has Jahmyr Gibbs right now, number 5 in rushing yards. Sam doesn't have that. Why can't he have those moments?
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that every quarterback has a moment when they push the ball down the field.
Sure.
I'm saying that in certain offenses, the quarterback is going to be asked to push the ball down the field more frequently.
Yes.
Like Dak Prescott, if he don't push the ball down the field, they don't stand a chance. Just look at the route combination that those guys run. I think that it's possible that Sam has those games, but it's more likely that these other quarterbacks have those games just because of their offense. So
is that going to be a byproduct? So you mentioned it being a byproduct of the offense. So is that at some point something that Clint Kubiak maybe needs to change his approach?
Why? He don't need to change. Why?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
You don't change the offense so your quarterback is MVP. You change the offense because it ain't working. And right now, it's the run game ain't working at the clip that we want to, but it's doing enough to open up the pass game.
Okay.
You're not gonna. Here's the thing too. Like when people say change the offense, Kubiak's not gonna go to his playbook and say, forget everything that we've been working on for the last 15, 20 weeks. You know what? We're going to change what we do because there's a language, there are formations, and there are concepts that are just who you are.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Again, I don't think Sam's a front runner for MVP and don't think he should be. No. And I agree with you overall. I agree with you overall, too, and that when I think of MVPs, I do think of those splash plays. I think of guys where it's like this person is central to what they're doing. Not central because he's a quarterback, central because he's a special player. Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, though he's not playing like that this year. But those are guys that make those plays where you go, oh, my God, like this guy's unbelievable. And I agree with you overall that Sam hasn't made those plays.
Yeah, I think he can. But this offense is just it's a bit different.
Okay, so where does he fit in then?
I think
either how does he become part of it or where does he fit in?
He becomes part of it if he puts together 3 or 4 more 353 4 touchdown type of games.
Okay.
If he can,
just more numbers.
If he can put up a performance like that, yeah. But if he is just the efficient quarterback that he has been for the majority of the season and put up those numbers, he'll be in the conversation. I just don't think he has a real chance of winning.
Okay, let's take a listen to what some other folks have to say about Sam Darnold. This was Joel Klatt this morning with Brock and Salk.
Listen, you don't win the style of games that they're winning without your quarterback playing well. I do think, listen, is Sam ever going to be the guy that takes your team above the X's and O's? I'm not sure about that. I don't want to throw like cold water on it, Brock, but he is a guy that can make up for and erase some mistakes through his efficiency. And that's something that I think is valuable. And I think Mike McDonald feels like that's valuable. And they're probably, in their eyes, building a roster that they feel like is a really solid complementary roster, where they maybe don't need that guy to go above the X's and O's and be the pinnacle player, for a win every single week.
So maybe that's where Sam Darnold is. Maybe where he is, look, he's not going to be this special player that covers up every single mistake that is going to take any team to a Super Bowl or certainly to a deep playoff run. But maybe he can take this team there.
I think for most of teams in the NFL, that's the type of quarterback they're looking for. I think you stumble across the guys who can just take a game over and do more than what the scheme is asking them to do. The majority of these teams and the majority of these quarterbacks are just guys who are trying to run the system to the best of their ability and get the ball to their playmakers. There's only a few. You mentioned Josh Allen. They're having a down year. 4-2. Poor Buffalo Bills, right? And Lamar is out the game right now. He's not doing it. You have, of course, Pat Mahomes, and Dak Prescott has that ability too. Other than that, every quarterback in the game right now, I think Baker Mayfield is kind of trying to get himself into that I can take this game over type of deal, and he has done that. We've just seen it so many years by these other guys.
Well, and he's got a case to be made now if he does it with some injuries too to the rest of the offense.
Yeah. Other than that, most of these dudes are just trying to run this dang offense. And it's a MVP is a quarterback award, but if you look at all these quarterbacks, most of them at least, they're attached to a really good tight end, to a really good wide receiver, and a really good running back. We skill guys elevate a lot of these quarterbacks in the league.
So let's stick with that then, because, Bump, I'm getting so many questions or points from listeners saying, if anything, it's JSN MVP. I'm telling you right now, if JSN finishes with, he's on pace for almost 2,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
Let's say he finishes with 1,900 yards, it would be the most ever by a Seahawk. It would also be just a monumental year for any wide receiver anywhere. If he finishes with 1,900 yards, Sam Darnold's numbers also look insane.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes in. Is JSN...
If he finishes with 1,900, how many yards you think Sam
That's what I'm
with?
saying. So, and it just, you're right. It is a quarterback award. It's not fair.
No, I want your guess. How many yards do you think Sam ends up with?
He's pushing 5,000.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, granted, it doesn't have to mean he's over 5,000 like Brady was with the Bucks. When you had Evans and Chris Godwin just, absolutely taking off, in part because JSN is getting he's getting the lion's share of Sam's targets. Yeah. But I do think that means at some point that your tight ends are getting more involved, that Horton's getting more involved, because you're JSN's still having those opportunities in order to get that. But I think it doesn't have to be a quarterback because that's what's right. It has to be a quarterback because that's what it's become. And it's going to be Patrick Mahomes, or it's going to be, I don't know if Dak Prescott has Dallas looking like a top 3-4 offense right now, but Dallas is 3-1.
Yeah.
So
if they get into the playoffs, then he has a chance.
If they get into the playoffs, sure. But what if they get into the playoffs and you've got Patrick Mahomes, who's also looking unbelievable. He's 4th in passing yards right now. He's only thrown 2 interceptions. Matthew Stafford also only 2 interceptions.
Well, that's the MVP award too. Is contingencies everywhere. What is that person doing? What is this? But because going into it, you're going to have your favorites every year. Pat Mahomes is going to be the favorite to win the MVP to start the season for the next 4 or 5 years, just because of his track record. So then it's okay. You can have good performances, but what's Pat doing over there? He's always going to have the benefit of the doubt.
Always.
So that's part of the deal.
Well,
too.
and it's also about narrative. One of the narratives about Pat, even though Rice looked amazing in his way back, is that Pat doesn't have the weapons that some other quarterbacks do. Oh, what would Pat look like if Puka Nacua was part of that offense, or if Patrick Mahomes? I don't want to say was in Sean McVay's offense because Andy Reid's offense is also brilliant, but Yeah.
Here are, real quick, here are
yes.
quarterbacks with MVP winners with the worst records.
Okay.
So you got
this is fun.
Matt Ryan with 11-5, Gannon 11-5, Brett Favre also 11-5, John Elway 8-3-1, Steve McNair 10-4, Pat Mahomes 12-4. So it looks like you can't lose more than 4 or 5 games.
Dak isn't getting it then.
Exactly.
I mean, I think Dallas could acquire defensive talent, edge rusher, whatever it is, at the deadline and improve modestly, and that'll be enough to get them to the playoffs. I think if the defense is average, they can get to the playoffs, but will they win 12 games? You don't have a lot of wiggle room now.
Yeah, you got some work to do.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It feels like it's between Mahomes, I don't know, maybe Stafford, Mayfield.
The rest of Dallas' schedule, they got the Broncos, Cardinals, Raiders, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders. It's tough. Vikings, I mean, the Lions are going to be tough, obviously. Chiefs going to be tough. Eagles going to be tough. Broncos going to be tough. Yeah, they got some work to do.
Yeah. I think I look at it more as Sam Darnold is part of a much broader conversation. He kind of gets eliminated quickly, but that he's part of the conversation is interesting. JSN himself brings up a much more fascinating conversation about what it takes for a non-quarterback to win. I don't think it'll ever happen.
I think this is one of the few times where I'll look at Sam Darnold getting a Pro Bowl nod and be more proud of it than I usually am with the Pro Bowl, because it's nothing but a popularity contest. But I'm like, he needs something, right? He's playing some good football.
All right, let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's a feat that could be accomplished by 2 players this year for only the 5th time in NFL history?
Yeah, this is wild, man. Bijan Robinson and Christian McCaffrey are on pace to have 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. And I think that's great for McCaffrey and for Bijan, but I also worry about their health when it comes to that. McCaffrey did it in 2019. He had 1,387 rushing, 1,005 receiving. He touched the ball 403 times. And I said that had to be like top 10, top 15 when it comes to touches in the season, not even. At 403, that's the 41st most touches. The most touches in the NFL season, 492 by James Wilder in 1984. You got Larry Johnson in 2006 with 457, Eddie George with 453, and then LaDainian Tomlinson with 451. This just shows the importance of the running back and how they are just underpaid. But they're underpaid because GMs realize with all the touches that they're getting, especially if you're a multiple type running back where you can catch the ball and run the football, you're going to get banged up. But no, I thought it's cool. That's something I always want to find records that are going to be broken. Like Mike Evans going down just killed the season for me low key because I want him to break that 1,000-yard season again. But no, this is something to look at. So let's see if Bijan Robinson is able to do it and if Christian McCaffrey can do it for the second time.
Second down. What's something the Colts still haven't done that could take them to another level?
Daniel Jones has 4 rushing touchdowns, but only 80-something yards rushing. So that means you get inside the 5 to 10, he's going to be in that run game. Remember, he rushed for like 730 yards one year. And I think that teams are already trying to take away Jonathan Taylor in the run game, packing the box. And I looked at, okay, well, if they're packing the box, then the Colts have to be running RPOs. Yes, they're second in the league when it comes to RPOs. I think that Daniel Jones is going to have to win a game or two with his legs. He has a few games of 90-plus yards with the Colts with the Giants and a couple touchdowns. He's got one game against Jacksonville Jaguars with 107 yards and a touchdown. That's the next phase is Daniel Jones is going to have to win a game for them running the football. They're going to pack it in, stop Jonathan Taylor. You're going to RPO it. You'll be able to influence the defense a bit. That's what I'm waiting for, a big rush game for Daniel Jones. We know he has it in him.
God, I can't believe the Colts have the best record through 7 weeks at 6-1. And I mean no disrespect to the Colts, who you could have looked at them and gone, oh, maybe Daniel Jones is okay, Pittman's great, and Jonathan Taylor, I think he could be a top 5 rusher for sure. Like, you would have thought all of these things, but they would have been well outside my top 10 of guesses. If you said one team is 6-1, just one team is 6-1 through 7 weeks.
Not them.
Nope, that's not who I would have guessed.
Baltimore for me.
I would have said Baltimore. No, Chiefs. No, Lions. No, Packers.
Right.
I would think I would have guessed Seahawks before I would have guessed the Colts. Third down. Who do you feel will have a big second half of the season for Seattle?
I guess we're calling it second half. Call it second whatever after the bye.
I'm going to call it like maybe like a 3/5.
3/5. It's Torrey Horton. And I think a big second half for him would be adding just 300 yards and 3 more touchdowns to the season. Because if you can get that, because you're counting on JSN, you're counting on the run game, and a sprinkle of the tight ends and Cooper Kupp in there. You're not really counting on Torrey Horton to contribute massively to these wins. I think he gets one more return for a touchdown. I think he has that in him. And I also think that he scores 2 or 3 more touchdowns. And it's gonna be in one of those situations where you're down in the red zone, everyone's locked up on JSN and Cooper Kupp and AJ Barner because he's emerging as one of the better tight ends in the game. And it's gonna happen just like his touchdown against, I believe it was Tampa Bay, I want to say. One game at home to where JSN takes everything to the right. He's underneath, catches the football, runs it in for a touchdown. I think that for Sam Darnold to stay in the mix, right, for this MVP conversation, he's got to be efficient, and now you get more guys involved. And the more success you have with JSN and Cooper Kupp and A.J. Barner, and hopefully the run gets going, number 15 gets lost in the mix. So a big second half for me, again, is 300 more yards for him, 2 or 3 touchdowns, we'll call it good.
4th down. What's something you can see happening for a couple Seahawks players?
We're going to have 2 All-Pros this year.
Whoa.
Leonard Williams is going to be All-Pro.
Wow.
His numbers are going to be worse than they were last year with 11.5 sacks. You watch this film. Go on X and type in Leonard Williams making plays, and you see just the dominance that he is playing with. It was a shame he didn't get it last year. He's going to be All-Pro this year. And, of course, JSN is going to be All-Pro. You're going to have 2 All-Pro players on your football team. Curtis, you know the last time the Hawks had 2 All-Pros on their team?
Maybe like
Had to be maybe 2013.
probably Legion of Boom-ish years.
Maybe like Earl Sherm.
Bobby and Earl,
Bobby and Earl,
Yep.
Bobby and Sherm,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have 2 this year. Big Cat and JSN will be All-Pros this year.
To look up the 2013 Seahawks because there had to be multiple All-Pros on that team. Goodness gracious. I'm scrolling. I'm going to have to find it later.
Bobby and Earl,
Bobby and Earl,
2014, both first-team All-Pro. Richard Sherman also they had 3 first-team
What was
All-Pros
What was in
2014.
2013 though?
Earl and Sherm were first-team All-Pros. Bobby had not been named a first-team All-Pro that
Which
season.
made sense, not because he wasn't great, but he
I saw
kind
like
of
Patrick Willis and like a couple other guys.
yeah. It was I would say the Q rating or like recognition of
People
Bobby
were starting to know that Bobby was
Yes.
an amazing player, but
grew slightly after the Super Bowl because initially it was like Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, the face of Seattle's Super Bowl team. Marshawn was kind of the face, and then it became clear that Bobby was like a future Hall of Famer just like slightly after that arc. But absolutely amazing. I like that. That's a great place to be in for this team right now.
Isn't it?
And a pretty fascinating first 7-8 weeks here. All right, coming up next, the single biggest story in sports today. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, you were just steps away and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah,
but
somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
That's
Betts.
right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Bible Law Group, our team reflects the same lessons learned by our founder, James Bible, while playing for legendary Husky coach Don James. Coach James always said it's amazing what gets done when nobody claims credit. That's the philosophy we carry into every case, because your victory is what matters at Bible Law Group. When your legal problems hit biblical levels and you feel like you're stuck in a lion's den of litigation, you need a legal team that won't back down. At Bible Law, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Ooh, the top story in sports today is a major one. The NBA has been rocked by another gambling scandal, and it's the biggest one yet. So this primarily concerns 2 big names in the NBA, though 34 total people have been arrested by the FBI as of this morning. Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier were among those 34 people arrested in a pair of wide-ranging investigations. So again, Rozier and Billups are arrested on separate but related cases involving things tied back to the mafia.
Goodness gracious.
So here's what happened. Rozier was accused of participating in an illegal sports betting scheme using private insider NBA information. Obviously, he's a current player. That would be information known by NBA coaches or players only that would likely affect the outcome of games or player performances. So you'd have that information, give it to co-conspirators in exchange for either a flat fee or a share of betting profits. And then Billups is charged in a separate indictment. This one is about a wide-ranging scheme to rig underground poker games that were backed by mafia families. Defendants are accused, and that defendants included Billups in this case, accused of using technology to steal more than $7 million from victims in the New York area.
Yeah, this was deep. They said that Chauncey's presence there just made people feel like it was a fair game. Like, there's no way they would do us dirty with Chauncey Billups here, right? Yeah, this is wild. And big shot Chauncey. He seemed like a man of integrity. I'm gonna wait before I jump all on him because remember Gilbert Arenas got caught up in something like that and it ended up letting him go like a few days later. I don't know, but this seems a bit more in depth than what Gilbert was going after. I was on IG in between our breaks, and I came across our friend upstairs, Mariah Lynn, her story, and she posted something from Chris Vanini. He said, within a week, we've had a major drill heist, a mafia-involved poker ring, and sports gambling corruption. We are living in the 1920s, right? It's like everyone should be wearing suspenders and top hats and stuff. Like this is wild, man. But irresponsible. Come on, Chauncey. I hope it ain't true. Rozier, something about him makes me feel like, I don't know. He definitely is involved. He left a game. So there was I think a $14,000 bet placed on a game he was in on his unders. So a few minutes into the game, he leaves with the ankle injury and finds out he's okay. So that's what kind of tipped him off on that one.
ESPN NBA insider Shams Charania said the league had no idea these arrests were coming.
As of last night, I was told the NBA did not have knowledge of these specific arrests. This has been led by the FBI. The FBI made their arrests early this morning. But the NBA has been investigating Terry Rozier, Malik Beasley. Terry Rozier was cleared by the NBA investigators over the last couple years. That's why he's been playing in games. Malik Beasley, a free agent, has not been cleared by the NBA's investigation. That's been ongoing. As of about 15, 20 minutes ago, I was told Malik Beasley was not taken into custody today as part of these gambling investigations and arrests today.
Part of my lingering question is, so the investigation surrounding Rozier had been going on for about 2 years. The league didn't know the arrests were coming, but did they know that Rozier was being maybe accused of sharing insider information with bettors? Like, what did they specifically clear Rozier of is what I'm curious.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Curtis, do you know?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So Sham says the NBA had investigated and cleared Rozier. The investigation the FBI had into both of these to all the co-conspirators for the one that Rozier's involved in had been going on for 2 years. Does that mean that even though the NBA didn't know the arrests were coming, they knew that Rozier had been accused of something and had cleared him?
Yes, I believe the NBA was aware of the allegations against Rozier, but chose not to suspend him or anything. And
so they figured, like, hey, we cleared.
Yeah, they thought they had done all the they thought they had uncovered everything, but
we didn't find your name on DraftKings.
Apparently there was a little bit more because the FBI's got probably a little bit better access. Yeah, but yeah, this is really bad. Especially, a head coach, an active head coach.
So this is U.S. Attorney explaining the Chauncey Billups one.
Defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant, Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam.
That obviously includes Billups.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Obviously, you got to wait and see how this thing unfolds. But to put yourself in that situation, I think if you're Chauncey Billups or Rozier, just bad judgment, man. Go to the casino, make it legit. Don't tie yourself in with any mafia families or whatnot. It's they know better than that. We'll see how this thing unfolds. It's not looking good for them, but the fact that they put themselves in that situation is all bad.
What are the bigger? I don't want to say the bigger implications. We know what the implications are, which is that now people are going to be, looking to see if other players are ever involved in these things. But it feels like not even every couple months, every couple weeks, it feels like we've got some kind of story about some kind of sports betting scandal. And this is across leagues. Class A, we talked about him being involved in things. People are looking back at pitches way outside the zone that he had against the Mariners in at least one game.
Seen a few NFL players get suspended.
NFL players.
Calvin Ridley,
Obviously,
Jameson Williams.
You've had Porter earlier this year when we were talking about the NBA. Recently, ironically, this story broke a day after the NCAA ruled that athletes can bet on pro sports beginning on November 1st, which in theory, you're like, okay, well, this isn't a league you play in. But look, if we're going to be picky about insider information, if you're a junior on Bama and your best friend and fellow, lineman last year is now with the Atlanta Falcons, don't you automatically have maybe some insider information about at least one team? Like those ties between the NCAA and NFL are still close.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that the money being made off of sports gambling in this country, we will never go back to what it was prior to it being legalized nationwide, because there's just so much revenue coming in. There's billions and billions of dollars that states are making off of this. Like, you can never go back to what it was, just because the money coming in is benefiting things.
Yeah.
But also it now brings in the integrity of every sport. Like, I don't know if you can watch an NBA game right now and feel like feel like it's on the up and up.
This has always been happening. I think maybe it's happening at a higher rate, and there's more exposure to it, obviously, because of the apps you can use to bet or whatnot. But games have always been corrupt. There have been NFL games that have been corrupt, NBA.
But
every
how
sport.
widespread has that been?
I don't know. No one knows. But it's been happening forever.
I mean, it's been happening forever, right? I mean, you could go back 100 years.
It feels like it's been happening more, though, post-legalization of sports gambling.
Yes, because, you might have, so in this case, you can look at organized crime being tied to sports betting, and you can go back to the Black Sox scandal. But the idea of, what happened with, Jonte Porter, or someone that just happens to be able to make bets or work with a friend to make some bets and then take himself out of a game, and he isn't a big enough name to draw as much attention, that kind of stuff is what makes me wonder how widespread all of this becomes.
It's deeper than we can even comprehend, I think. I think that it's part of the culture. Gambling's part of the culture for the consumer. I think gambling is part of the culture for the unassuming guys, and apparently now the guys with the big names are getting into it or have been getting into it. It's just now they're getting all caught up, man. It's just it's unfortunate because it makes you question everything now. Every call, every missed call. It kills the integrity of the game.
Yeah, absolutely agree. All right. We have some sound from Justin Hollander from this morning, Curtis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
About an hour and a half ago.
All right. So Justin Hollander spoke with reporters as part of an end-of-season press conference. That's coming your way next.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
If you are in the Mariners front office, what are you spending your offseason focusing on?
This feels like a beginning, not an end. I see this being the beginning of the best run in the history of this franchise. The sheer number of really good prospects that the Mariners have lead me to believe that they're going to be in this position again.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Things are getting spooky around here. What's up? It's bumping. Fall is my favorite time of the year. Obviously, you got football. You got the baseball playoffs. You got fall golf. The leaves are turning different colors. You got adults and kids running around in funny costumes. What's not to love? But this year, I want to start a new tradition. Make the easy drive up I-5 to Silver Reef Casino Resort. They got everything you need. Deluxe rooms where you can actually spread out, feel relaxed and comfortable. Then I can head downstairs and watch the games on their big screens at the sportsbook while grabbing a bite to eat. Then I'm going to head outside to Loomis Trails Golf Course. They got rates you can't beat for a course this nice. There's water, there's trees, got a few holes that loops back into the forest. You feel like you're the only group out there for a couple of holes. While I'm golfing, the missus can check out the spa. We'll meet back up for a delicious dinner at either the steakhouse or the cantina. It is a awesome trip. You should do it. Off I-5 exit 260, silverreefcasino.com.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, October 25th. Curated by racing legend Steve Saleen, this high-octane exhibition features icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. Don't miss it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, choose care that puts you first. At Snoqualmie Valley Health, you won't wait weeks for a mammogram. Appointments are available now, just 30 minutes east of Seattle. Experience the difference with advanced 3D mammography and our new Breast Health Suite, designed for accuracy, comfort, and peace of mind. If you're 40 and older, yearly screenings are recommended, and no referral is needed if you haven't had a mammogram in the past year. Don't wait. Detect early. Schedule today at snoqualmievalleyhealth.org.
Ryan Rowland-Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at mbahealthtrust.com. That's mbahealthtrust.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
baseball. Front Row Card Show is returning to Tacoma. Join them at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center October 25th and 26th. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. Beckett, CGC, and JSA will be there, so bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 400 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, October 25th and 26th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy
weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mariners GM Justin Hollander spoke with reporters this morning at an end-of-season press conference. Let's take a listen to some of what he had first on how he's feeling at the end of the season.
And it definitely leaves you feeling hollow, somewhere in between where Cal was at post-game after Game 7 and like where Giannis was at a couple years ago, where he talked about there's no failure in sports. Like, I'll start to move along that spectrum over the next few days and weeks, from it feels very much like a failure to thinking about big picture where we are and the steps we took this year, but it's hard right now.
Yeah, normal. I think that's probably standard for anyone. Like, who knows? Maybe Cal will move along that line as well, going, well, on second thought, like, we did really accomplish a lot, and how do we build on it? But in the moment, you just feel like this isn't what I came here to do.
Failure.
Yeah.
Season was a failure. You can make the World Series.
I think that
they accomplished a lot, though.
Yeah, they accomplished a lot, but I do think that your standard should now be get to a World Series, which is the first time in 20-something years you've said that.
Yeah, I think it was already their standard. I think for us, it's probably changed a bit. For us, it was the more games you won, the more scenarios you were in, the more we bought into them being able to accomplish getting to the World Series.
I don't know that it was their standard. And that wasn't intentional.
I think it was for the
players. For players,
yeah,
absolutely.
Players for sure.
This organization has not always moved for 20-something years. Like,
speaking
that was
about the players,
standard.
I think this year it was World Series or bust for them.
Yeah. Okay, here's a bit more from Justin. He's not anticipating, and this is the good news, that it'd be a one-and-done type run.
I'm certainly not anticipating this being a one and done for this core group of players. They're good people. They're great people. They work hard. They care about each other. They care about winning. I think it's raw for everybody right now because of all they put into it. But I think everybody knows in their heart of hearts that our window didn't just end because we came up a run short in Game 7. That there's more in front of us, and that the best versions of a lot of these players are still to come.
And also got a bit emotional himself.
I'm really happy for our fans. It's unacceptable that they had to wait so long for a winning team, and obviously, we've had by pure record, a winning team for the last 5 years, and that's positive. And I think continuing to give them reasons to believe is important. They deserve it. They've earned it, and it was probably one of the coolest parts of Game 5 was all the people that I'm friends with or that have been around us that sent me videos of hugging in the stands. After Gino hit the grand slam, and just seeing what that means to people in Seattle. They deserve it. They really do. I'm sorry, guys. And I was so happy for them.
Unacceptable that fans had to wait so long for a season like this. And you can hear Justin, who's like, we've talked with Justin on and off the record, very genuine dude. Definitely. I think that's very real emotion.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's mixed emotions because you know that you were good enough to get it done. And I think when you start talking about things, sometimes you're reflecting. You're looking back on the season. He talked about all the people that it affected. The grind, man. This is the longest season in American sports, 162 games with so many ups and downs. And, I think in that moment, it kind of all hit him. I'm sure it's hit him before. He's had his moments already. But once you start reflecting on what you've accomplished and what this fan base has been through, I think it's important that he showed some emotion. I think that will connect him to the fan base even more.
Yeah, because I think that's what some fans are worried about, right? Mm-hmm. Fans want to know that players care. They clearly do. You don't even have to think twice about it. Yeah. But fans want to know that a front office and that the people that have the power, right? Mm-hmm. People with power, people that can make decisions, that can cut players and buy players and trade players and make your team better or make it worse, that those people care as much as they do. And I think you hear that in Justin's voice. I think you hear in Justin's voice a very sincere appreciation for how far they went And with that appreciation and all the memories that came with it is a realization, oh, wow.
Yeah.
We've never been this far before. It's wonderful and simultaneously unacceptable.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that with that weight until you're there and you come 8 outs short.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, God, it's not enough.
Yep.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Okay, so here's a bit more from Justin talking about pitching.
You can never have enough pitching. We've been really, really blessed with tremendous talent and tremendous health until this year. And this year we had some of the health bug bite us. And we got exposed for part of the season, just where we really felt like we were a little naked in terms of the next guy up over and over and over again. And our guys did a great job. Some guys came in and filled in really admirably. We asked a lot of Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans. We asked a lot of some of the relievers on the team who stepped up. And when that happens, you get guys like Bizzardo and Vargas who sort of reveal themselves to maybe be able to deliver more than you had anticipated when you broke camp in the spring. But we're always going to need more pitching. The league tells you a story every year, and if you don't listen to it, you're crazy, is that you could never have too much pitching.
What do you think?
I think he's right. I think that's the constant battle that at least teams with aspirations of winning their division have, is like you have to be able to pitch. You got to be able to take some lumps throughout the season, too. You got to be able to handle a starter going down or someone in the bullpen going down, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. He's saying all the right things, man. I mean, he's saying all the right things. He's his tone is perfect when it comes to this. Mm-hmm. And the best part about it is that coming from Justin, I think it is genuine. I think he really means that. Now it's about the execution, right? They say a lot of the right things during the offseason. Now it's about executing. Do you have enough? Have you changed your reputation enough to get some of these free agents to want to come here, right? Are you that neon light at night attracting the gnats? Can you get them to come to Seattle and want to be a part of something special? Because I think the country saw it and felt it for the first time in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have one more here. This one talking about not just having younger players coming up, but the need to build a roster that can also support them.
There's going to be a lot of guys that come through over the next couple of years. It's our job to build a roster that can support the growth that they're going to need to have in order for us to reach the ceiling that we need to have, which is going and winning a World Series. You can't do that without developing your own homegrown players and your own homegrown difference-making players. These guys aren't role players. These guys are everyday guys to all-stars to maybe more than that. And we need to find a way to make sure that we give them enough runway to show what they can be, while also making sure that we give our team the steadiness and the foundation to go out and win the division.
I think this is where you do that delicate balancing act. For the longest time, this team was like, okay, we're building, and we want to supplement. We definitely do, but these are our core guys. Well, now your core guys are here, and while you're looking at, okay, eventually we want to bring up Emerson, and where does he fit in? And, this is our top prospect. We're so excited. We're going to bring in Cade, and, that's going to be really great. Okay, but that's not going to be in March. In March, in April, in May, June, July, you need to win as many games as you possibly can with core pieces that are here. So how do you mesh both? And that's a different phase for this club to be in.
Sign Josh Naylor. That's all I got to say to that.
Okay.
Sign him.
All right, going back to the NFL with ESPN's Benjamin Solak next.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside. He's Charbonnet. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. Just going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Lines is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
With over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested as part of a years-long investigation into illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia. Billups was one of 34 people arrested. Multiple charges involve 4 mafia families and organized crime networks. The Blazers announced this morning that Billups has been placed on immediate leave. It's Chargers-Vikings for Thursday Night Football tonight at 5:15 p.m. Chargers desperate to improve to 5-3. Vikings trying to stay alive in the North with Carson Wentz in for J.J. McCarthy again.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. All right, again, you got Thursday night football today, 5:15, Chargers, Vikings. You know, I've been wondering, there are a couple teams trying to, desperately stay alive with backups in, and the Vikings certainly one of them. We'll talk about a few more, but let's start with the Seahawks. ESPN's Benjamin Solak joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Benjamin, how's it going?
I'm well, Stacy. How you been?
Good. I mean, it's been kind of a fun start to the season for Seattle, a team not without its flaws. Okay. But I've been pleasantly surprised by Sam Darnold. So let's go ahead and start there. What have you seen from him? Is he meeting or surpassing your expectations?
Surpassing with flying colors. I think the biggest surprise of the season is the Seahawks. A lot of people talk about the Colts and Daniel Jones and what's happening up there, but Seattle is really the one where everything I feel like coalesced so quickly with the new offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak, with a change in offensive personnel, weaponry, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett out of the building, the emergence of Smith and Jigba, obviously the quarterback change, Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, the offensive line adjustments. It is extremely rare that you have this much turnover on one side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball and have everything click as fast as it has. Now, certainly I think that those first 3-4 weeks of the season was like, holy smokes, they're never gonna not score on a drive. And then there's been some, third down regression, so on and so forth. Sam Darnold right now, by ESPN charting numbers, is having the single best season for accuracy in NFL history. His off-target percentage is the lowest for any starting quarterback we've ever charted. That's probably going to regress. Like that, just by virtue of the laws of big numbers, you just cannot keep this up over the course of a 17-game season. Jack Smith and Jigba, as we all know, is on pace to break the single-season receiving record. That is probably not going to keep up over the course of the season. So is this going to come down to some degree? Probably. But this is still legitimate. Sam is playing excellent football. Smith and Jigba is incredible. Every single week, I'm astonished by Kubiak, how well he is coaching. The offense is for real in Seattle, and then we already know what that defense was. This is a serious team.
Yeah, we obviously we cover these guys, so we dive deep every single week, and for all the things that they do well, there's some things that they struggle with. Stacy pointed out yesterday they haven't recovered a fumble all year. The run game isn't hitting the way that you want to, but there's still been a commitment to the run. They're averaging about 28 attempts per game. If there is something that you're looking for improvement for after the bye week, what would it be?
The running game is the big thing. Kubiak does a really wonderful job getting defenses to respect the threat of the run so that he can pass. No quarterback in football throws against base defensive personnel, 3 linebackers, 4 DBs, than Sam Darnold does. No quarterback in the NFL throws against heavier boxes, more players in the box, less players deep in coverage than Sam Darnold does. So by formation, by where the wide receivers line up and the amount of tight ends he puts on the field, Sam's under center constantly. You really heard Dan Orlovsky harping on how much he's under center during the Texans game. These tools he twists to get Sam some of these easier pass looks. However, eventually, at some point, you will run into a defense that says, okay, we're going to force you to run it on us for 4 quarters. We are going to sit in lighter boxes. We're going to put a nickel DB on the field, and we're really going to make you actually run us out of these looks. And to this point, they've got their backfield rotation going with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. I think they're still trying to figure out what runs Walker's best on, what runs Charbonnet is best on. They want to be able to run off that left side of the offensive line because they have some issues on the right side. But the problem is defenses know this, and you see that you get the run blitzes coming off the left, and sometimes it's hard to get to the edge over there because they set a tough edge that way. There's difficulties right now in the running game that I'm not sure get solved unless the right guard position gets solved. And even then, I think it's going to take some time because they have to figure out how they really want to divide up the carries between Walker and Charbonnet. So the running game is where you're going to need the improvement.
I have kind of a weird question. So later this week, and especially next week, given that it's a bye for Seattle, we're going to be talking about, like, hey, what are some possible trade targets, right? Why not? We're heading into November 4th. But if this team decides, that they're not going to add to kind of an injured defense, is it ever easy or common for teams to look for offensive linemen? Because it's such a position where you just have to gel and you just have to fit into an offense and you aren't quite sure what to expect. But I do agree with you in that after injured defensive backs, I would look at the right side of that line and go, oh, at guard and at center, you could certainly use at the very least backup, if not an upgrade. But how often do teams actually successfully do that?
Yeah, offensive line is one of the most rare positions we see dealt at the deadline. Typically, you're very correct to ask about it. When we see positions dealt at the deadline, it's more of the plug-and-chug spots.
Yeah.
You will see corners and secondary players dealt at the deadline. You will see wide receivers dealt at the deadline, running backs, edge rushers. Less frequent that you see offensive linemen, like you said, because of the chemistry that's necessary. Now, if I were in the room right now with John Schneider, and Schneider asked me, said, okay, so should we go for one or should we pass? I would say, well, let's go for one. Not with the belief that it's going to make us better in October and November, but in the belief it's going to make us better in December and January. If we can go trade for Wyatt Teller from the Browns and we can improve that right guard spot, let's do it. Let's put Wyatt out there, and let's acknowledge that we're going to have some trouble with that in November. If there's going to be gelling problems, it's not going to look great at first. But if we can get that onboarded correctly by the time we get to December, potentially January football, we might be in a better place to actually make a run out of this sort of thing, which is how Seattle should be thinking right now. To me, this is clearly NFC playoff caliber team. And it starts with the defense and the fact that defense is going to be able to win them games against elite offenses, period. If the offense can keep up this heat, like I said, it's going to regress to some degree. But if it stays at a 80%, 90% of this level, then you've got a serious football team here. I don't want to be bringing Anthony Bradford in the current right guard situation into a January run. We saw what it looked like for Sam playing behind a beat-up Vikings line when they ran into the Rams in the playoffs last year, right? You're going to run into some good pass rushes. So I would still be willing to do it, even though there are issues with trading for an offensive lineman at the deadline, because it might bear fruit for me a couple months down the road.
So if you are the Seahawks, you are the GM, you're John Schneider, you're looking at your squad, the trade deadline is coming up. There's been some rumors about a name or two. What position are you addressing? What are you doing?
Right guard is the most serious spot. That's the spot I would go for. I brought up Wyatt Teller being the name that's in the Browns. You've also heard Trevor Penning mentioned, who obviously was a Saint and previously played in the Kubiak system. So if you're talking about, Clint, we want to have a guy that's got some knowledge, some awareness in the system, so the onboarding process is faster, then the guys from the Saints are guys to watch out for, namely Trevor Penning, tackle kicked into the interior. The defensive backfield is an interesting one. If you move on from Reek Woolen, then you do have a question answer. You got to figure out how you want these defensive back snaps to be broken up now. I think they're still figuring out exactly how they want to use Nick and Manwari. And I think in some worlds, you have three starting corners between Manwari, Devon Witherspoon, and Josh Jobe. And you don't necessarily need to make a big acquisition if and when you do deal Reek Woolen. Of course, you're then very thin at corner. So if one guy goes down, as we've been experiencing, then you have to account for that move you made, that lack of depth. And so corners would be another spot where maybe they make a move for a depth piece, kind of conditional on what ends up happening with Reek Woolen at the deadline.
It's interesting you mentioned the Seahawks being a contender in such a tight NFC race as well. You've got 6 teams that are 5-2. Obviously, that's going to change with a bye. But if we assume that, let's say, the Lions kind of start to separate themselves, 3rd in points per game, 5th in rushing yards, tied for 3rd in sacks, like they're just really complete and rolling right now. Would you put the Seahawks as maybe with the potential to separate themselves next from the pack? Or would you look at maybe Eagles, Rams, Bucks, 49ers?
I would put the Seahawks potentially next to separate themselves from the pack. Right now, if the Seahawks played the 49ers on a neutral field, I would favor the Seahawks. If the Seahawks played the Eagles on a neutral field, I would favor the Seahawks. If the Seahawks played the Bucks on a neutral field, I would favor the Seahawks substantially. Seahawks Lions on a neutral field is tight, but we're still up there. This is, it's funny because when I was on the show in August, I was like, listen, calm down. Like, this is not going to be too good. I'm worried about this. I was not a Sam believer. I was a Geno guy. The pendulum's the other way. I mean, this is very seriously legitimate. Again, there's going to be a bit of a fall off for the offense inevitably, and it's a question of to what degree that might make this team, okay, maybe their playoff hopes are a little bit thinner, a little bit wider. But this defense is one of the 2 best defenses in football. And in particular, this defense is geared towards handling some of these offenses that we see in the NFC. You brought up the Lions. This is a perfect defense to play the Lions. It is exactly the sort of defense that you want to be able to deal with how much they want to throw out of the slot, how much they want to get the backs out to the boundary. The running game of the Lions, that's how they dominate opposing teams. This Seahawks run defense would beat the Lions' offensive line. Again, neutral field for 4 quarters because of the issues the Lions have on the interior. Like, this defense is ready to make a NFC playoff run now. So if you tell me the offense ends up being, roughly what we've seen so far, maybe a little bit worse, then yeah, the Seahawks are right there, tier 1 NFC contenders. I believe that.
Yeah, it's that's the great thing about NFL season, right? It's just week by week teams can develop or they could falter a little bit. We're seeing that with the Chargers start off hot now. They're slowing down a bit. What do you think happens with the 49ers and what they got going? I mean, it's going to be hard to overcome the Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, but somehow they're finding ways to win ball games.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers point differential right now is +7, and they're 5-2. And so there's a lot of ways point differential can lie to you. There's a lot of garbage time nonsense that can go on. But we've all seen, I think, enough 49ers games to know that a lot of these wins have been by the hair on their chinny chin chin. If we're not talking about that Seahawks Week 1 game, right, and the catch in the back of the end zone, maybe we're talking about that Rams Thursday night game. They get the 4th and goal stop. They get the fumble force on the 3-yard line. It's not to say, it's all luck. These are plays that you work on. They're good in clutch situations. But in general, this is not as good of a team as 5 wins might imply, right? Especially you don't look in Seattle and you think about how they lost that Bucs game. Man, they could have won that game in a lot of ways. And so I think the 49ers are a example of incredible coaching and wonderful, week-to-week solving problems on both the offensive and the defensive side of the ball by Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. They're doing tremendous work. But on paper, the team is extremely thin. The defense is very young. They're not good situationally in terms of 4th down, in terms of the special teams game. And it's hard to measure their talent up against some of the more loaded rosters in the NFC, like you've been talking about with the Eagles and the Lions. And so to me, the 49ers are a team that I expect record-wise to get a little bit worse as the season goes on, more to reflect their true colors of what they've been as a team. I think they're more about a 500 team. If they get to the playoffs and they have a healthy Brandon Ayuk and a healthy, Brock Purdy, we're going to talk about them a little bit differently, but as of right now, that's how I feel.
I want to take a closer look at the Seahawks defense. I will ultimately be asking you about how they're able to get so much pressure without blitzing a ton, a stat that we all know and I just find incredibly fascinating. But they're also interesting when you look at comparing super, super basic stats with what you actually see with the eye test. For instance, if you look at just passing yards allowed, they don't look super exceptional. But then when you actually watch the team, they can feel suffocating as a pass rush and as a defense. So what do you see them do so exceptionally well that sometimes isn't going to be reflected?
So firstly, I was just watching this Texas film a couple days ago. The fact that, they are this clean and this polished and communicate this well, pass on routes this well with guys like Ty Okada and Drake Thomas and Josh Jobe and just names who would simply not be starting on other defenses, other back sevens, is astonishing. One of the great achievements of coaching right now in football is how Mike Mack has dealt with the carousel of injuries in that defensive back seven. We're talking about, he lost Witherspoon and Julian Love. Those are the leaders. Those are the communicators. You were supposed to bust coverages when those guys leave, and they just don't. And that is really, really rare. I will spoil, my column's coming out on Tuesday, and I'm talking about the Mike Mack for Coach of the Year relative to the Shane Steichen case. Because everything that Shane is pulling off on offense in Indianapolis, in my opinion, McDonald's pulling off on defense for Seattle. So there's that. It's just they don't make the mistakes that the defenses do. Then you brought up the defensive line and the pressure aspect. Seattle has a wonderful understanding from the personnel offense down to the coaching staff that we are going to generate pressure and disruption and chaos as a collective unit, not with the idea of let's get some elite pass rushers in here who are going to win, thick one-on-ones, half-speed Nick Bosa. Look at this pass rush move that he did to finish with the quarterback. But we're just going to throw bodies into gaps. And we are going to consistently move the quarterback off of his spot and off of his time. And we are going to crash on the inside with Uchenna Nwosu, who's playing great ball. DeMarcus Lawrence is playing great ball. We're going to do it with Leonard Williams lining up in a variety of places. We're going to come with Derek Hall through the tackle chest, boy him off there around the corner. We're going to make sure that you never feel comfortable in this pocket. And that is not necessarily going to manifest itself in high sack numbers, high sack rate for our individual guys. We're not going to be a team that has a 12-sack rusher, 13-sack rusher, but you are never going to have a nice drop back against us. And eventually that accumulates, right? Watch second half C.J. Stroud. but he never, ever took a happy drop back. He would get to his back foot and just keep backing up because he's terrified. You cannot deal with that level of chaos over that period of time. And we talk about, okay, it works against Stroud. It was working against Baker, too. They put 35 up, but watch Baker. He was highly erratic in the pocket in that game because it is a hot, hot, hot pocket. They throw a lot of bodies at you. There's never a clean place to step up. They really make you quarterback from 4 quarters. Again, that's going to map in the NFC. That's going to work for the playoffs. You think about Jared Goff's bad games. Think about Jalen Hurts' bad games, Brock Purdy's bad games. They come when they face defensive lines like this, where there's always somebody in your lap. It is a special, deep, and exciting group.
Yeah, it is. It's been fun to watch. They've exceeded my expectations, and that's without being at full force, especially on the back end, right? Nicky Moore, I feel like, is still coming into his own. You haven't had J. Love back there, Witherspoon as well. What's the ceiling for this defense, in your opinion?
Best defense in football. I think for me, it's them, the Texans, and the Browns are the 3 that you talk about. I think that at times, like we've been dwelling here about the Seattle defense. At times, you do see them have problems against quarterbacks who can create, right? Because there are some quarterbacks who are very comfortable outside of structure. Seattle wants to get you outside of structure, so then you run into those guys, and all of a sudden, you're used to them playing left-handed. Well, actually, this is where they want to be. They want to be on the forefoot a little bit. And so there's works with every single defense. But best defense in football is the ceiling. And then when we talk about playoff runs in the modern NFL, last 10 or so years, we're typically talking about 5 offenses with above-average defenses. That's the model of the modern NFL. It is rare to see a defense be good enough. Think about Peyton Manning era Broncos, Russell Wilson era Seahawks, where the defense is top 5, defense is top 3, and it's so good that it can take a average, maybe above average offense all the way. That's the ceiling with this group, and I'm not sure you'll get there. A lot of it depends on what happens again at the deadline. Reek Woolen, where do you end up with your man coverage guys? Because the playoffs is a lot about man coverage. Seattle's largely a zone team. You got to be able to play man in the playoffs. There's still questions there, but that's the ceiling, is that this is a defense that's good enough to take a run, play action, sit on the football, win a low-scoring game offense all the way to a game in San Francisco in February. And that's in the cards. And they're not there yet, but it's in the cards.
He is ESPN's Benjamin Solak. And Ben, without fail, it is always shocking how much you know about every single team. It is wild. Keep an eye out for Ben's column Tuesday on ESPN.com. Seahawks fans are going to like it. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Have a good one. Isn't Ben great?
Hey, he
was cooking.
Hey, he got what you need.
You know?
He got what you need.
That's what I'm saying. You could ask, just think about it. He's a national reporter. You could ask him any question. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, that's so funny. I was just watching tape on Ty Okada the other day. And you're like, wait, what?
Right.
That's wild.
Preps.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bubba and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Game 7 was the most watched ALCS since 2017, averaging 9 million viewers with a peak of 12 million during the 9th inning. What's the real headline?
And all of them couldn't believe Edward Bizzardo was coming in that spot.
Yeah. It was funny hearing Ryan Divish's experience from this because he's looking in the bullpen, and he knew before all of us knew that Bizzardo was going to be the guy. He says, I'm going to have to write about this regardless of what happens. It's either going to be viewed as one of the gutsiest moves you've ever seen or one of the most disappointing moves you've seen. And unfortunately, it was one of the most disappointing. But big ups to Bizzardo, man. I know that he has been a name that's thrown around a lot because of the situation he was put in. Mm-hmm. But throughout the playoffs, he was solid for this team. It's just you wanted Munoz to go down swinging or be victorious, pass on the brash. Maybe if you have to, he goes a few more innings. But Dan will learn from this, and maybe Dan is like, nah, I'd do it again. And I hope that ain't his reaction to this. But you never really know, man. Was there a plan? Was there not a plan? So many questions. We'll never know the answer. But end of the day, good season for the Mariners.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think what's sticking with me now that the frustration and pain that these players, you feel horrible for the players, and now that that's gone. I'm with you. I think the thing that stuck with me is this lingering question that we will never truly have an answer to, which is, okay, was this a broader organizational plan that if you see this look, this batter, this whatever, you go to Bizzardo? Mm-hmm. Or was a broader organizational plan, hey, have Wu here in, this moment, and then get to I don't know, some other person, and then Dan just kind of went with his gut and just maybe went off script. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Truly, we'll never know. But I agree with you. That's a lingering question I'll end up having is like, okay, which voices mattered most in this moment? Is this one person and everyone else was like, hey, whatever you think, you're the skip? Or was this a couple people going, yeah, we like this look? Which in hindsight, it sounds like is a little bit of what was at play with the Robbie Ray decision, which we only found out years later. So it's because of that, I'm wondering, like, is this more than a few people? More than just Dan? I don't know.
No sense.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Vikings take on the Chargers tonight on Thursday Night Football. What's the real headline?
Loser of this one might as well pack their bags on claiming any division title.
With the Vikings, I feel like I haven't gotten a fair shot at a true evaluation because you're going with Carson Wentz, who hasn't been playing horrible ball, but this isn't helping the future of your franchise. Wentz isn't going to be the guy. It's J.J. McCarthy. He's been out for a while. The start of his career has been tough on him physically. For the Chargers, they never really allow you to buy into what they're doing. There are little spurts to where they look good, and then they'll fall off a little bit. It feels like the division is slowly slipping away from them. I never felt like they were going to win it, even when the Chiefs were, 1-2 or 1-3 or something like that. I felt like they'd be okay. They're getting healthy. Rashee Rice is back. I really like their trio of receivers over there. Pat Mahomes is doing his thing. But, this is going to be who's fighting for your life.
Yeah.
And either team can pull one off. They're staying afloat.
I feel like the Chargers just need to, A, not turn the ball over. Justin Herbert has 6 interceptions. B, just try to establish more of a rushing threat, I guess. They're 3rd in passing yards per game and 4th in total yards per game. And you look at teams that are, like, offensive leaders in yards per game. Cowboys, Colts, Bills, Chargers, Chiefs, right? Every team there has had some struggles. The Cowboys aren't even over 500 technically, but you can still go, okay, they've got some stuff to work with on offense. The Chargers just they're an interesting team right now. They're just, I've given up like you hope that they'll overtake the Chiefs.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Jorge Polanco all were nominated for AL Silver Slugger Awards. What's the real headline?
Was Gino a snub?
He complicated things, not him.
His trade.
His trade complicated things for me. I think I can understand if you see it as a snub, but I also think, all right, well, he played X amount of games here, X amount of games there. He went from one hood to the next hood. Which hood are you from? No one knows, but I don't think he's a snub. I think there's an argument for both.
Why don't you think he's a snub?
Because a bulk of his bombs came from the other side, the other league. So, it just complicates it. If he were in one league with those numbers, I think it'd be clear no matter what.
If Gino were to suffer a season-ending injury on August 2nd and finish his season with 36 home runs with Arizona, that would have been 5th.
He would have been in the mix.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that he would have won Silver Slugger, but I think he'd be maybe, I don't know. Curtis, what's the standard for a player that might, let's say, appear in just the second half of the season or miss a good chunk of the season? Do those guys typically get as many nods? Curtis? Oh, Curtis might be cutting up some sound. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're busy back here.
Sorry, figured. We got a lot of Mariners sound to go over back there. So maybe he's not the biggest snub. I get it. It's complicated. It's just interesting when you remove the fact that he clearly spent time between both leagues.
Yeah.
And what other year would a guy with almost 50 home runs not be a Silver Slugger finalist?
Just this one.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's not personal. Everyone likes Gino. It's very clear that this was a byproduct of splitting time in both the National and then later the American League. But 49 home runs is a lot of home runs.
Sure is.
And when you have that many home runs, it doesn't really matter if you're not hitting 310. Look at Cal.
No. You're hitting bombs. You're scoring runs. The ribbies are up.
Okay, still to come today. We mentioned that the Mariners had their season-ending press conference and that there were comments from Jerry Dipoto, Justin Hollander, and Dan Wilson. Earlier in the show, we played you the latest from Justin Hollander, very emotional Justin Hollander after that Game 7 loss. Coming up at 12:45, about 20 minutes from now, we've got the latest from Dan Wilson, how he's been handling criticism from Game 7, whether or not he second-guessed himself. Some of those questions that Bump and I were just wondering, Dan was asked by reporters today. So that's coming up at 12:45. Coming up next, though, we take a look around the NFL. Sean Payton responds to Russell Wilson's tweet, and Joe Flacco said the most relatable thing ever.
It's the Hawks Player Spotlight.
Tight end A.J. Barner is with us. How are you, man?
Doing well. It's good to be on here.
Brought to you by Three Tree Roofing.
The rookie on this O-line, Gray Zabel, is with us.
Sam is an elite quarterback.
Going deep with a different Hawks player every day at 3:30 with Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports.
Every time he walks into the huddle, we know we got a chance for a big play.
Nick Emanwari is with us.
I felt good physically going into the game.
Catch up on every Hawks Spotlight on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Temperatures are dropping, but you don't have to settle for a chilly home this winter. Keep cozy and safe with energy-saving products during Washington Energy's home heating sale on now. Upgrading your home is as easy as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 off. Take $1,000 off furnaces, fireplaces, and water heaters, $2,000 off high-efficiency heat pump systems, and $3,000 off whole home generators and ductless mini splits, plus free financing. Washington Energy Services, your expert resource for affordable home comfort. Call for a free estimate.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 Cars for Kids.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
I had a young woman who was on a new SUV, and she had attachments to her old car because it was her first car, and she had questions because she was doubling her spending budget, and she was very fiscally responsible. It was almost making her sick. And the best path at that point was to, let's stop for the night and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier. These are major life accomplishments. You have the ability to afford at this tier. You've secured one of the major needs in your life. You should be feeling a tremendous amount of pride and respect for your accomplishments. I'm just grateful that we get to celebrate it with them, that we get to be part of it in that aspect of it.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
We are well into the rainy season, Seattle, but it's not too late to get your roof replaced. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project this winter. Our certified technicians build a custom plan for your home, ensuring a worry-free installation even in the winter months. Replace your roof now while material prices are low and lead times are short. Stop wasting your time on costly repairs and Band-Aid fixes. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today and secure your $500 discount. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, and we are going to start in Denver, where head coach Sean Payton was asked about Russell Wilson's shot at him. If anyone needed a reminder, Sean Payton certainly appeared to take a shot at the fact that his Denver Broncos would be facing Jackson Dart and the Giants and not a Russell Wilson-led Giants team, to which Russell Wilson on Twitter responded, classless, and then made a joke about Bounty Gate still taking a shot. So this is Sean Payton responding to that tweet.
The euphoria, the way that game unfolded, that was strictly about Dart. I mean, and I that was in no way, shape, or form anything that was directed at Russ. So, and I might be able to see how he might perceive that, but coming off that win and watching how he played, yeah, that wasn't any intention at all.
What do you think? You believe him?
No, I don't believe him. I think that he heard what everyone was saying. He felt that people were in more support of Russ. I think in that moment he meant it. I think afterwards he reevaluated and felt a little bad about it and wasn't honest enough to come out and say, you know what? Bad judgment. I shouldn't have said that. Instead, he's making it seem like he weren't thinking about Russ. You know you were thinking about Russ. You said, I'm glad we're hoping we made the switch at QB to the young man before we got here. Why? Because you're implying that Russell's not a good quarterback.
Exactly.
Come on, son.
It's almost like, and again, like, anyone can talk trash if they want. Like, sure, Sean, just say, like, hey, you know, we were bummed that they got this kid that had a spark, and we think that spark was, you know, a big part of them leading us, and it was tough. This was a tough-fought game. Like, he's trying to give the Giants a compliment after Denver made this, like, historic comeback, so I get that he's, you know, trying to pay some compliments to the Giants, who have just suffered kind of a heartbreaking loss. But as part of that, it is very obvious that the only other option to Dart was Russ.
Yes.
I was talking to John Mara not long ago and said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game. That's very clearly implying we would much rather have played Russell Wilson.
Yeah. You just praise the quarterback that you play. There's no reason to talk about the guy who no longer has the job.
Yeah. Joe Flacco just became the most relatable person in the NFL when he was asked about his nightly routine. This is when living away from his family after his trade to Cincinnati.
You know, just kind of take myself out of that mindset, call home, go sit at a restaurant by myself and realize that, man, that's pretty enjoyable to do. You know, after there's not too many situations. I tell people all the time, I mean, I used to see guys sitting at a bar by themselves or, you know, just sitting by themselves eating and grabbing a little meal, and I'm like, man, I feel so bad for that guy. Like, you almost want to go join him. And now I realize, like, that dude was in heaven. And not to say that that's obviously not what I want. I'd rather be at home sitting at the dinner table with my kids and hearing what the hell they were talking about all day. But if you have to do it, then you might as well take advantage of it.
Just the most relatable. This is like when people are like, you know how happy I am when people cancel plans, and you're like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
He gets it.
Love my kids. Love my friends. Sometimes the most relaxing moments I have is at a bar top with a beer, some food, watching a game, and talking to nobody. I talk for a living.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to nobody sometimes.
Well, let me just say, too, as someone who does not have kids, now, for parents, absolutely, it's a different kind of peace that they're happy to have. So I'm like, you go, Joe Flacco, or any parent. Like, you get that you time. But even as someone who doesn't have kids, I also have clear memories of looking at people maybe going to a theater by themselves, like when I was younger, eating by themselves, and you have that natural thing of, you think loneliness is bad, and when you feel lonely, you feel sad, so you go, oh, I feel so bad for this person. And then when you become older, you realize that being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely, and that, like, it's actually incredibly peaceful and freeing. Like, to just be chilling by yourself, not talking to anyone, can actually be the best.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Tranquility.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
So, Joe, you enjoy that burger. You watch the game at that bar and just hang out. All right, next up, Justin Fields shrugged off critique from Jets owner Woody Johnson.
I mean, I don't think me talking to him is going to do anything. Like I said, it's not going to make me play better. It's not going to give me more confidence on the field. So I don't think there's necessarily a point in talking about that. And I doubt he'll come and talk to me. I'm not sure how he feels about the situation at all, but I mean, I don't have any plans going up, to press him about what he said. Like I said, like, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Like, that's just what it is. But you just have a choice or not, whether
Why not? Well, Brett got traded, and then he went to one of the hated rivals. I was in New Jersey for a couple years. I don't have any animosity toward the organization. Obviously, I wish that, things have been better in our last year there, but, I have a great relationship with a lot of people still in that organization.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close. You were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie.
Oh, that's right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ryan Rowland-Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at mbahealthtrust.com. That's mbahealthtrust.com.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, starting October 25th. Curated by racing icon Steve Saleen, this electrifying exhibition showcases the evolution of American speed, style, and engineering, featuring icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. From raw horsepower to groundbreaking design, this is the ultimate tribute to performance. Don't miss the birth of the American supercar, opening October 25th at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Visit americascarmuseum.org to learn more.
Stacy Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mariners manager Dan Wilson spoke with reporters earlier this morning. He was asked how he's been handling all the criticism from his bullpen decision in Game 7.
You know, as a manager, you're responsible for that, and you have to wear it in some ways, you know, and we'll continue to assess, and you're always looking to get better and do the things that it takes to get better, and we will continue to do that. And but it's frustrating, and you know, it really is something that stings, and will continue to sting for a while.
And of course, whether he's second-guessed himself.
I mean, I think as a manager, you have to make decisions, and you know, in terms of if it's, you know, whether it's the Bizzardo one, you know, we have a good process in place, but managers have to wear decisions one way or the other, and I think that adds to this thing as well.
Bump, what'd you make of his answer?
It's what I expected. It's what I expected. It's we have a process. You got to make decisions. Putting out the Bizzardo one, didn't really get into it, but yeah. I'm sure he's heard the noise. You know what? I wish I could be like one of his friends in his circle, because, like, say for instance, your boys keep it just 100 with you. Don't hold back anything. I got a buddy who I've known for 20 years, right? I did this thing for the Seahawks during the second quarter. I did this Seahawk jukebox thing, right? And I go on the field. This is what I used to listen to when I used to play. They play the song, and then I wave my flag. And I went and met up with him after that. He goes, "That was so whack." You know what I mean? Like, he's just making fun of me. Like, I know he thought it was cool, but he's also going to say, "Oh, that was kind of corny." You know what I mean? Like, he was honest. He was like, he's being real. That's how he felt about it. So I wish that I could be one of his boys to give him that kind of flack and have it and see his response. Because right now, he's going to say what he's supposed to say. We have a process, believed in it. Another Bizzardo thing, you got to make decisions. But he's absolutely right. He's got to make the decisions. And even if he's not the driving force in the decision, maybe it's upstairs, you come up with a plan. Yeah. His job is to take those bullets anyway. He ain't going to send them bullets upstairs.
All right. Asked what the flight home was like. Can't imagine. And also how exit meetings have been.
Very quiet. And you know, I think seeing some guys here over the last couple days as they've kind of packed up as a player, you know, those are always tough flights home and tough times to pack up. You know, but at the same time, I hope they feel really proud of what they've been able to accomplish here, and incredible step forward. I think getting experience in a playoff situation, in a Game 7, those things really help as you go forward, and our guys getting a chance to experience that here, you know, will only help us going forward.
And because it's a related theme, I'm going to also play his sound when asked about Cal's comments specifically, saying that this year was a failure.
That's what makes this group so special, is just that desire that they have, and we all want to be playing tomorrow night in LA, and that's what's difficult to swallow. You know, again, what's in that clubhouse is determined, and you know, they're not satisfied. That speaks volumes, and when you look at the year he has had, and you know, in some ways you don't want them to feel like it was a failure year, but coming from a place of wanting to win as a team. And that's really been the motivator for Cal all season long, was wanting this team to win. And so understandable how that felt at the moment. And that's just the incentive going forward. Last year we watched Houston celebrate on their field last year, and that doesn't feel good, and so that can also be a driver as you go forward. That's motivation to get where we want to go, and ultimately that was our goal this year. We didn't quite get there, and that will be our goal next year.
Bump, this is one of those things that anyone not one of those players has the least amount of control. Like, there's no control you have over how a team mentally and emotionally bounces back.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams don't, and then many others do. And it remains one of the most fascinating kind of under the radar things to me about teams that suffer, a lot of heartbreak and then make it back. Because it's hard to just put those feelings aside. Maybe you're resentful or angry at a coach or a teammate or yourself, and you have doubt that you may not have had before. But you can also have lessons learned in certain moments.
You got to take your time to heal. That's what it comes down
okay.
to. You got to take your time to heal,
Darren.
as Darren Waller would say.
I know that's right.
Take your time to heal.
You got to do it. And I think the closer teams can get over stuff like that, the teams with guys who have been around for a while, who have solid leadership, the process isn't enjoyable, but I think that at the end of the day, because they're close, they love each other, you're more likely to get over it. The resentment kind of goes away, if there was resentment at all. Maybe those guys are totally bought into Dan Wilson and his process and understand what he was doing, even if they don't agree with it. If you understand it, okay. If they were in a situation where there was turmoil, they didn't like each other, they didn't play for each other, they don't like the skipper, then I think those feelings can kind of boil over and follow you to Peoria when it's time to get going. With this squad, I just don't think that's going to be the case.
All right. Last but certainly not least, primary offseason focus for this team is going to be trying to keep Josh Naylor. So why not take a listen to what the manager had to say about what Naylor meant to this team?
As we talked about during the season, he's an incredible player, from a physical standpoint, and the way he hits and the way he plays defense, pretty phenomenal. But what he does, off the field, I think in terms of the clubhouse, and just his mental approach to the game, and the smarts that he has, the headiness that he plays with, he's quite the player, and on both sides, whether it's mental or physical. And he's the type of guy that came over here into a new team, but fit right in and fit right in quickly. It's pretty impressive that he was able to do that, and that shows you the type of person and player he is.
I think it's telling that in talking about Josh Naylor, every person has always mentioned those intangible things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, yeah, he's a good player. He can hit, but he's smart and he's crazy. Like, you can't teach that.
It's personality. Personality affects the dugout, the clubhouse, and it affects the way that you play. I mean, even when I think they lost, was it the last game? Was it game 7? He hit a bomb. Was that game 7 or was that game 6? Anyway, they were down.
Yeah, not 7.
And he hit a bomb, and he still just the way he hit the bomb, held his club up, kind of did a circle, and then walked off like, finally.
Oh, 6.
We're
yeah,
on the
yeah,
board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's little stuff like that, I think, goes further than what people can even imagine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the demeanor, how he approaches the game it's not completely original, because there are always athletes who do that, but it's just rare.
Yeah.
And it's special.
I wouldn't say it's like, we were talking about bullying the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you like him because he's a bully. That's not what it is. But the Mariners are an organization, and I hope they're not listening because I don't mean this offensively. The Mariners are an organization that has been put down plenty. And part of that's, look, when you don't make the playoffs for 21 years, you're kind of seen as an easy win, an organization that isn't taken seriously, not a destination spot. I hope that they change that, and I think they're in the process of it. But you do wonder, like, okay, well, outside of talent, what do you need to add to that recipe for that specific team that's in that spot? And I think part of it is like an aggression and a hunger and an edge, because that's what winning teams have. Like, really winning teams have like an aggressive kind of in your face, yeah, that's right mentality that, like, I feel like this team was lacking.
I called the bat a club.
You did?
Yeah.
What, didn't you say he clubbed it?
No, I said he held the club
Why
up.
are you always thinking about golf?
Because it's always on my mind.
Okay,
All
well,
right?
you need to stop.
But you feel me, though.
Yeah, we knew what you were saying. We were picking up what you were putting down.
Gracias.
The Mariners' season's over, and their focus is on 2026. But when do those moves start this offseason, and what do they look like? Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joins us next.
Hawks Live. Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? It's true. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural and it works. I was finding that my clothes didn't fit as well, so I jumped on the program. I lost 35 pounds in 60 days. It was very safe and a healthy plan.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Dave Wyman here, and after 20 years of living in our home, our window seals started breaking. That's when I called Harley Exteriors. They're huge fans of our teams and regular listeners at the station, but what really sold me was their Olympic Series windows, built right here in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. They're beautiful windows that last up to 60 years, and they'll help with noise, too. Harley Exteriors knows you've been spending a ton on playoff tickets, so they have a special deal for Seattle sports listeners. No interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off, and take another $200 off your entire project. They're the friendliest team and so easy to work with. You call the number, and the person on the other line asks, "How can I make you smile today?" Just give them a ring and tell them you heard our ad. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. Outdoers get more done.
Introducing your new Dell PC with the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps you handle a lot, even when your holiday to-do list gets to be a lot. Like organizing your holiday shopping and searching for great holiday deals and customer questions and customers requesting custom things, plus planning the perfect holiday dinner for vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and Uncle Mike's carnivore diet. Luckily, you can get a PC with all-day battery life to help you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside, backed by Dell's price match guarantee. Get yours today at Dell.com/deals. Terms and conditions apply. See Dell.com for details.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested as part of a years-long investigation into illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia. Billups was one of 34 people arrested. Multiple charges involve 4 mafia families and organized crime networks. The Blazers announced this morning that Billups has been placed on immediate leave.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us in studio live. We're so happy to have you here. I am only sad in that we don't have you covering this team as they, go to LA to take on the Dodgers in a World Series. But it was absolutely unreal to watch this season and see how close they got. I want to get to some of what we learned today and to some of the offseason priorities. But I do want to start with just kind of an overall summation of the season. Cal Raleigh made it very clear post-game, hey, it was a failure. This was also the furthest this franchise has ever gone. For yourself, how do you categorize it?
You know, it's really hard because I think that right after the game when you're talking about it, and I think they're probably still feeling the same. We just got back from talking with Jerry, Justin, and Dan in a very different situation. It wasn't a podium. It was one in one corner, one in the other, kind of pick where you're going. And it really hit me. So it's the first exposure that we have had since the end of the game, and it ended so quickly. The game itself, it was over in a blink of an eye. It's like boom, Springer hits the home run, and it was just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and done. And I mean, it was stunning. And then going down in that clubhouse for a few minutes, stunning. You know, there were guys just sitting in their chairs, just almost in a daze. Cal Raleigh in tears, other in tears. It was, and that starts to hit you. Even though that you're in the mode of got a job to do and I'm being clear-headed about this, I'm not letting the emotions get it. And then to go in today and still see, the 3 that I just talked about, very emotional about it and really understand that, even with the shock wearing off, it is a huge disappointment. And to me, that's so hard because there can only be one winner, But to them, that is everything they've been playing for, fighting for, believing in. So for Cal to say what he said, that it was a failure, I think, disappointing, which is a word that Jerry used and choked up on and started to get tears when he said that, probably a little bit better because you don't want to overlook all of the good things that they did to get them there. And they're not satisfied where they're at. That's great. Jerry, Justin, and Dan not satisfied where they're at. That's great. But I don't know that you call that a failure, as it's a tremendous expectation we're going to win the World Series. So many things can happen. So to me, it was eye-opening just how raw it still was and how raw it was at the end of the game. And it really kind of illustrates the investment that they have in what they're doing.
Shannon, you posted something, and I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's the last out, and it's just focused on the dugout.
Yeah.
Right? You're watching the guys take it all in. No one rushed to get out of there, to start changing or go through their process. They all stayed there and kind of took that all in. What do you think that moment is going to do for these guys moving forward?
Well, they've done it before. They've done it. They last year saw, I think it was the Astros in Houston celebrate in Houston, and that was a disappointment for them too. I do think it's going to further drive, every workout that they have, which it's going to be fewer workouts this offseason because they just lost 3.5 weeks of preparation and probably another week with, just trying to recover from everything that they just did. But I think it really just affirmed to them that, yeah, this is what it's all about. And it's going to give them that little bit of extra drive to get through a work off in the off season, to get through a bad day during the season. And I think it's going to drive them even more. We've talked about the chips that they've had on their shoulders, and I think that played a big role in what they did this year, is that, they wanted to finish the job. They did not want to come up short for a third straight year. And you can say what you want of motivation and those things, and they don't matter. I think in this sport it does. I think when it is a day in and a day out, and you've got a team that is on the same page, I think that's kind of a big part of it too. 26 different kind of inspirations isn't going to work too well. But if they're all on the same page, I do think that there is a little bit extra. They don't want to feel that again.
You know these players personally. I mean, you had the Cal Raleigh show all year long with dozens of interviews and I'm sure many off-the-record conversations with these guys. You know them all well. Are they personalities that you think are kind of built to feed on this kind of motivation?
I think so. Because I do think we just saw it this year. I think that had a big part. Let's not take for granted what they did in turning around the season at the beginning of September.
Yeah.
I mean, that was as ugly a fall as you're going to see. And I didn't think they had much of a chance at that shot. They had to win 16 out of 17. And they did it. And one of the things that was driving it was the goal at the end. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's like you don't need anything other than World Series. We want that. And it also, something that came up quite a few times when I started getting into it more, is that they wanted to do it for Seattle. They're not just doing it for the guys in the clubhouse, the organization, the guy, if you're in the stands, it's for the city. The city hasn't had it. I don't think they're carrying it around like a weight that's hurting them. I do think that's happened before in years past, but it's something that they really, really want. And they got a huge taste of what it was like to start to have that as it started to build up as the series progressed.
At the end of the season, right, you start reflecting about things that happened and that didn't happen, and you think about like the what ifs. And I'm not even focusing on the seventh inning, right? Just for you personally throughout this season, what's your biggest what if with this team?
Wow. Well, it's easy, actually. What if the starting pitching had stayed healthy? What if 2 of the 3 had stayed healthy that were out? I mean, what if even one more of them had been? And I guess the other what if would be, what if they had been able to add another leverage arm at the deadline?
Yeah.
I think that played into it, too.
I was just deciding between 2 questions I wanted to ask. I'm going to stick with the
one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left. I'm going to go to the one on the left.
Go with the one on the left.
No, I'm going to, when you were talking about, I'm going to go to the original one I had. When you were talking about the emotion that all of these guys were, not just players, but Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander in the interviews that you guys just went to. Bump and I listened to Justin Hollander, and he started tearing up, when talking about the city and the idea of getting texts from friends who were like, I can't believe I'm here. And then I wondered while I was listening, I wonder if maybe, trying to put myself in his shoes, what if it's dawning on you in that moment, like, oh, like this means so much to so many people. And it's one thing to know that, and it's another thing to be in the moment and see what those faces of those people look like and see them. Do you think that in terms of, I don't know how to phrase this, do you think that there's a renewed hunger in the front office, not just from players that are mad that they didn't get close and are going to be pushing forward, but maybe a renewed perspective or goal in the front office among Mariners decision makers of, oh, that's what this is like? Because Jerry's been a GM before. He's never been this close.
That's a tough one. I'm, excuse me, traveled quite a bit.
You've been very busy.
There's been a lot of travel, a lot of travel. You know, I think for Jerry, it's been very personal. I mean, this is what he set out to do and what to build. And I think, you know, as far as the city goes and the decision makers, yeah, it's going to be different, isn't it? Because they haven't been in this position before.
Mm-hmm.
This is the close that they've gotten. So this, I think, made it that much more real. And I think that one of the things that'll probably play into it is the organization just, they had so much success together. When you take a look at, you know, the team and everybody in the front office and everybody, you know, just everybody that falls under that Mariners umbrella. And I think that there is probably a little bit of a renewed, you know, appreciation for the entire group. I mean, they're feeling it now. It's like, because as they walk around having these feelings, everybody around them has those feelings now too. And so I think that that probably helps out a little bit too. And as far as the city goes, I do think it's a goal. And I do think that, you know, they want to have that parade. They've seen the stadiums full. It's so dramatic. When you go from the regular season to the postseason, they can be 2 games on 2 different days, and the feeling is completely different, as long as that wasn't a clinch game on the final game of the season. And to see that building filled every night, you know, throughout the postseason and turned up tenfold from even the most exciting game that they had before, I think you can't help but feel it. And the same thing that Justin said, they're all running into that now. They're all hearing that now. They're all, and I think that's a little eye-opening, because it got me a little bit that people are so emotional over it. And, you know, taking a step back and looking around and seeing the different people for the different reasons, that kind of opens my eyes. And I think everybody's seeing that right now. It's one thing to say you want to do it, but to actually feel it around you, I think that leaves a huge impression.
I think it was important that the rest of the league saw it too. You know, it's the first time nationally people, first time in a long time nationally, people are turning on television and seeing T-Mobile and the environment that's out there. And, you know, talking to other broadcasters from the opposition, they're talking about this is one of the loudest places we've ever been before. So I think it's a good recruitment tool. How do you think this run will affect the offseason when it comes to trying to acquire some free agents?
What's going to be the most interesting thing is, you know, your biggest targets are already on the team. You know, I don't think you're going to be targeting as much out in the free agent area. They have to figure out, you know, can you get Josh Naylor back? And that recruitment started, you know, like 2 weeks after he got there, if not sooner. That has been ongoing. But he, of course, you know, he's now free to anybody to chat with, and they'll have to see where that goes. But they did so much. I think it's been well documented. He's enjoyed the city, the time that they spent with the Kraken. They're doing all sorts of things. I mean, Seattle showed up very well in trying to make the case to Josh Naylor. Jorge Polanco is somebody I think they'd like to keep as well. But he's not going to pick up a $6 million option. So where does that go? You've got to figure out what you're doing there before you can do anything else. Jerry said that that bullpen would be a focus this offseason. And that's new. Bullpen is almost always the afterthought. You know, we're going to bring in this big group of guys, and, you know, the guys that we think are, you know, we can find something with. It's the first time we really heard, you know, bullpen will be a focus, or we'll put our attention on the bullpen. That's kind of interesting, I thought. And then you have to factor in, you're going to have some young players up on this club next year too. How do you work them in? So when it comes to free agents, and a lot of what we were hearing from the different corners of the rooms as they were all talking is they like this core group. And I think they would like to keep this group together. I think, obviously, Gino, they're not sure on that, I think. Josh Naylor, they obviously want back. Gino, that's a tougher equation to put together because of where he is in his career right now. And once you go from there, you're not talking about too many spots. I asked Jerry about the outfield. He said they're happy with the outfield of of where it's at, basically. So I don't, where are you going to put somebody else at this point? If you land Josh Naylor, if you don't land Josh Naylor, then you're looking at free agents. And I did not get any indication, but it's too soon to say. I mean, are you going to be looking, what are you going to do about starting pitching? I know there's been some speculation they could trade Castillo to try and free up some money. I don't know that that's going to happen, and especially if Justin Hollander is the one making that decision, because he's emphatic that you can never have enough pitching, and look what happened to them when their starters were injured this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's going to be something that they're going to do. I'm not saying it won't or it will, but if you're looking to free agents to come here, I'm just pointing out, I don't know how much that's going to be a part of it. Is it more attractive? I think ultimately players are looking for where, especially if they have families, where what's going to work best for them. I think there are players that you can look at, where they are in their career. Do they, you want to win the ring? Does that come into it? Do they look at Seattle right now and think, okay, they're an up-and-coming team, or they've been up-and-coming for a while, but they're that much closer? I think that might play a small part in it, but I don't think things really change too much. I think it's going to come down to where they're going to be comfortable, what the contract is. The travel is always going to hurt a little bit. Maybe that hurts a little bit less now.
I like the idea of the investment being, you add some pieces, but ultimately you're reinvesting in yourself in this group. Even if this group was entirely together, the version that we saw in the ALCS, I think you'd still wonder a little bit about the bottom of the lineup. So is that something that they're hoping, hey, we have these young players that we're curious about? Or is it something where, we were listening to an MLB Network segment saying, they got to add contact somewhere, and it doesn't have to be, Cal did his job. Julio was doing his job. Julio had a great game, if not for the last at-bat. So I think it's just natural to look at those spots and wonder, okay, is that where they add, or is that what they're hoping they have?
I think it's probably what they're hoping they have, because there isn't a place to add. I mean, yes, you'll have a backup catcher, but he's not going to play very much. If you bring back Naylor, first base is covered. Second base at this point would be probably a combination of Leo Rivas and Cole Young, while you're trying to further grow Cole Young into that, because he is your future second baseman. Shortstop, I don't know that they do any. JP will be in his last year. I don't know that you see anything there. And then perhaps it's third base where you can do that if Suarez isn't the answer. But they do like Ben Williamson, and they like his defense. You do have Colt Emerson that you're going to see sometime sooner than later by all appearances next year. I don't know that you get a full-time third baseman at that point. Maybe that's where you can put it. If they're committed to the outfield, or if they are comfortable with what the outfield is, well, Randy, Julio, and left field, they like Canzone. So I just don't know. You have the DH spot. Well, that'd probably be Polanco if they're able to bring him back. So I think the thing to remember here, I didn't mean to wave a finger at you, is it's always going to be a two-part thing with the Mariners, which I think is actually a good system. Your first 3-4 months of the season, first 3 months, you figure out what you are and what you have. And then this year they made the significant additions to it that were the extra. So I don't know that you make that, and I don't know with what's available if that's going to be what they're looking for as far as, the contact in a veteran-type player that you're going to have to sign for multi-years, perhaps in a position that you have an up-and-coming player in. So it's kind of complicated in that regard, and it will be tough, I think, to work in some of those younger players too and keep, if their eye is on advancing. But you have to, just keep in mind it takes a year to get there, or it takes a season to get there. And if those guys are going to be part of it, they'll have to be there early. Maybe you'll take some lumps early. Maybe they'll have to go on another big run at some point. But I think it's going to be a challenge in where you put them, particularly if Naylor comes back and you feel comfortable with what you have going in at third base. I'm not sure.
How did you view Dan at the beginning of the season, and how do you view him now that it's over, as far as just his experience? How has he grown throughout the year?
That's been eye-opening as well, because I know we all sat back and the easy things to kind of dissect the moves. Well, that's not how it's been done in the past, and leverage this and leverage that. And I do very much believe in that. And I do think that there were some stumbles early, which shouldn't be too surprising, as this is the first time he did it. But I think what was missed was the impact that he had on the clubhouse. And I hear that from people in the clubhouse, outside of the clubhouse, that was key. Like, that was the first and foremost. That is like bedrock for what they've done. And that I've also heard from different people that what he does and how he does it is very rare. It's like you can probably get anybody to run a playbook, but to hold a clubhouse is a different thing altogether. And I think that probably that was not valued enough when we were sitting back and making some critiques on things that, it didn't always go as smoothly as you thought. But had that clubhouse not been where it was, it might have looked worse.
And we've spent all year talking about Cal Raleigh, so this sounds in hindsight like a really funny question, but we were talking about him very differently in March than we are right now. So that being said, how does his role on this team as a player, their own expectations from him, and then also as a leader, how does that look different heading into spring compared to last year?
I don't think it looks too different. I think he was there last year. I think he just put up a lot of numbers with it this year and had to do a lot more interviews once a week.
On the Cal Raleigh Show. You can still go listen to him.
There we go. Yeah, they're all on YouTube. I think he was there. I really do. And I think that the thing that blew me away about what he did was how it's always been with him, how he's been able to manage everything. He takes everything on. He takes huge responsibility for himself, for his team, for his pitchers. And there are only so many hours in the day, and he makes it all work. Well, this year, he continued to do that. He was setting expectations, so he had to even carry himself in an even, just a different way because of that. And then really all of the extra stuff, it was a lot. And he tried not to put pressure on himself, but he admitted at times that he was, maybe I did swing there for the fences on that one. Maybe, maybe the home run chase did play into it, or I'd find myself having to try and get out of that, I think is how he put it. So I think that was interesting, but I think he comes in, I think he had probably every bit of credibility that he has now at the beginning of the season. I think he was already there. I think we'd still be talking about him in glowing terms if he just hit 30 home runs.
Cal's been awesome. Julio's been awesome. I was so happy for that dude to show up in those moments. Again, another growth question. How have you seen Julio grow?
I've seen him grow a lot in the leadership terms. I was thinking about this driving into the press conference today. In 22, it was really hard to get Julio after a game. And that's no longer the case. He will stand up, win or lose. He can speak for the team if he needs to, and that's needed in a clubhouse, and he's taken that on. His positivity is something that has always helped this clubhouse. His ability to, I think he has mostly overcome the swinging at the ball in the dugout. I think he has learned to control the situations a little more. I think there's still a little ways to go on that, but I think that has been, I think, at the plate. I think he's got a better understanding of who he is and what he needs to do, and I think part of that was the lineup around him helped him. I think he was able to settle into a role of, I don't have to do everything. What can I do? And these are the things that I do. Well, let's go. And not just try to do everything. The decision that he made at the All-Star game was huge. Huge. And I look at him, and he is somebody who nobody would enjoy an All-Star 2 or 3 day weekend, whatever it is, more than Julio. Loves the spotlight. Loves to be there with other All-Stars. I mean, that would have been huge for him. I was surprised that he, decided to forego it, and just that said so much. He knew where he was, he knew what he had to do, and it wasn't that. That's such a huge step in his maturation. So I think that he finishes much more a leader at the end of the season than he was at the beginning. Not that he wasn't and he didn't have some of those qualities, but he really took steps forward.
Yeah,
in that.
growth there.
Yeah.
Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. Continue to read Shannon's work at seattlesports.com, of course, on our Twitter accounts, at Shannon Drayer on X. And Shannon, you have provided amazing coverage, amazing interviews all year long, whether it's post-game interviews, clubhouse scenes, questions that listeners constantly have about, do they add here? What's this deadline look like? And it has been a chaotic and very fun season. So thank you so much for everything you provided, not just us to be able to talk about and dissect, but for listeners to be able to really enjoy. We appreciate it. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Thursday night football between the Vikings and Chargers kicks off at 5:15 p.m. on Amazon Prime. Alex Mayer joining us next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
To be that close. You were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie.
Oh, that's right,
Mookie. Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Searching the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Joining us now of Mariners stats and info, it's Alex Mayer on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Alex, I feel stupid saying how's it going, since I think everyone with this organization is really heartbroken. But I'll ask anyways. How are you feeling a few days removed from a heartbreaking end to the season about where this club can go?
Yeah, don't feel stupid at all. It's great to join you guys one last time in 2025. Thanks so much for having me all season, by the way. Had a lot of fun doing this stat spotlight. And to answer your question, doing great. I think, it's been a few days now. It's kind of time to turn the page, think about the offseason, think about 2026, but also reflect on, despite the disappointing ending to the season, how many great moments there were.
Yeah, a bunch of great moments, man. And when you play a $162, there's a bunch of opportunities to do that. Was there a moment where you felt like, all right, on paper, this team can make a run at it, but was there a moment where you felt it, you saw it, and it really started to believe that they could make a go at this thing?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it was a roller coaster season, right? There were moments you thought the Mariners could win the World Series. There were moments you thought we'd be at home in early October. I think when the team flipped the script in early September in Atlanta, for me, that's when it really felt like things could get real, because obviously they had gone through the skid. They got swept in Tampa Bay. But when the offense really bursted out those two games in Atlanta, the Saturday and Sunday, and then, got to go home where they had played much better than on the road at the time, got to play the Angels and the Cardinals and went 7-0 on that homestand, that's when you're like, holy cow, this team could do some serious damage. Was good at home all season, was good on the road at the beginning of the year, and then kind of went through that lull. And then they really took care of business against the Royals and obviously the Astros on that road trip. But I would say like September 7th, 8th, when the offense was firing on all cylinders, the rotation was finally starting to get fully healthy, or I guess almost fully healthy. That was kind of when I was like, holy, like let's do this.
I think what I've enjoyed so much about you being on with us and us, talking to you throughout the season, even off air, are the little nuggets and stories you have from being with this team. Because again, you travel with this team, you're in the clubhouse, you know these guys, they're familiar with you, and with that comes a lot of stories and a lot of insight, whether it was going to the home run derby with Cal and the rest of those guys and his family, or being with this team through an incredible postseason run. So are there any tidbits or stories that have kind of stuck with you that you're thinking like, man, I'll carry that one for a while?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for saying that. I feel like sometimes I want to give even more, but then I'm like, I'm a team employee. Like what happens in the clubhouse kind of stays in the clubhouse. So
keep it private.
Thanks for saying that. Yeah, it's always a balance for me. But I do want to go over Game 7 actually a few days ago in Toronto. Toughest loss of the season. It came to an abrupt end. It was over. But there were so many guys that came up to me and some others on my staff, our communication staff, and thanked us for our work, even right after they had just battled for 9 innings and 7 games in a really tough back-and-forth playoff series. We had guys, I would say the coolest one was Josh Naylor, who, we only had worked with for 2-3 months at most since he came over in the trade from the Diamondbacks. But Josh Naylor, right after a really difficult one-run defeat, came up to me, dapped me up, said, "Thanks for all that you do. Hope I wasn't too much trouble for you." So I thought that was really cool. And I was like, Josh, you were a blessing to acquire and have part of this organization, and hopefully for more years to come too. But he was so great to have. He was so well-spoken in the media, such a kind guy behind closed doors as well, despite his big grumper nickname, his big grumper moniker, and also his facial expressions when he's playing. He's like one of the nicest guys I've ever worked with in uniform. And then, to see Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, arguably the two faces of the franchise, as down as they were after that loss, I think both of them crying post-game in their media, and obviously the yell that we heard during Brian Wu's media session, even though I will say Julio does that all the time, win or loss. He just likes to express his emotions that way. I think it was really cool to see the two faces of the franchise, upset as they were. They are not complacent at all. I think we had a great season, making it to the final 3 teams in the major leagues, but there's no complacency with this group, and they're going to be starving for it in 2026.
Hey, is there a coach who throughout this season maybe contributed more than the average fan really knows about? Is there a name out there you can throw?
Ooh, so many of them, and I won't take the easy way out. I'll answer with a coach. I'll say Christopher Negron. It was his first year moving from first base coach to third base coach, and I thought he really thrived in his role at third base. It was a role that had been previously occupied by Manny Acta, obviously, who moved to bench coach, a role that didn't exist with the Mariners in 2024. So Manny moved to the dugout. Christopher moved coaching boxes from first to third, and I thought he did an excellent job. He is such a kind, great person who can connect with all sorts of people. He was close with myself and, everyone from writers to the players. And I think his ability to connect with people makes him just a great asset that we have in uniform.
All right, let's look to 2026, and we'll start with a name that you've already mentioned, that being Cal Raleigh. All season, we've been asking you as we tracked Cal's historic season about different, feats that he was accomplishing and records that he was breaking, and you kept it, up to date for us throughout, which was really cool to see. I don't know that we're going to be looking at Cal hitting 65 this year, this upcoming season, though it would be fantastic. So what does a reasonable season look like, right? Like Cal has clearly improved or taken a step forward, from the right side. So what does a good 2026 look like for him?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think in each of Cal's 5 major league seasons, he's improved significantly. I think obviously the leap from 24 to 25 was about as significant as you can get. I mean, it's pretty hard to have a 34 homer, 100 RBI season at catcher, no less, in 2024, and then just completely shatter all expectations and become, this front runner for MVP, home run derby champion, all-star, you name it. I think I'm not going to put an exact number on it, but yeah, it would be crazy to expect him to register 60 or more homers, 125 RBIs as a switch hitting catcher who barely ever takes a day off. But I truly believe that he can get close to those numbers again, just because you mentioned me being in the clubhouse, this and that. I do see how hard he works. I think all the stuff that you hear in the media, from his teammates, his coaches, anyone around this team. Like, it's not overstated whatsoever. If anything, it's understated. He's always the first player at the ballpark every day, home and road. It's actually kind of funny. If I ask him if he can do a certain media interview or whatever, he usually picks a time before the media are even there. So then I have to go back and forth saying, well, Cal wants to do it at 11 a.m. And then, a TV person might be like, well, the game's not till 8 p.m. Could he do it later? And I'm like, nope.
And then you're telling reporters like, hey, get up, get to work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah, get your butt there. But yeah, I think a great season for him could look a lot of different ways. But I mean, I guess I told you I wouldn't put a number on it, but I could see him hitting 50 again. That's how special of a hitter he is.
All right, Alex Mayer bringing us so much, not just awesome insight. Again, we tease you about it, but I do not know, and nor does Bump, how you find some of these stats. It's absolutely insane. And I hope that you find some new, really fun ones next year as the Mariners hopefully continue to make some history. Alex, thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you guys for everything. Thank both of you. Thank you, Curtis. Thanks, everybody at Seattle Sports. I had so much fun this season. And, yeah, be on the lookout on my Twitter account. Maybe I'll even surprise you guys with some Mariners off-season stuff.
Let's go.
And maybe even some Seahawks. Stuff, because I love football stats, too.
Hey, send them my way. I can use them on the halftime and post.
Hey, there we go. All right,
like Alex is at it again.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
Hawks Live. Touchdown! Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Stacy here, and if you're like me, you usually hate looking for a new car, and most of that is because you're never quite sure who to trust. So it's why I loved my own experience at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Chris and Mark and Way himself, I'm telling you, these are real people. I actually know them, and you will too. They were super accommodating and listened. They want to ensure that your experience is the same, hassle-free with zero pressure. I also can't tell you how amazing it feels to finally upgrade to a new model as someone who put off getting a new car for years. I ended up with a 2025 Bronco Sport. I'm obsessed with it, by the way. Heated seats and heated steering, all-wheel drive in the winter, absolutely worth it. Wayscar Ford is family-owned and operated for 103 years in Auburn. They offer a lifetime powertrain on all new Fords, and there's never any pressure. If you change your mind within 5 days or 500 miles, take it back for a 100% refund. Learn more at wayscarford.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included, for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
At Bible Law Group, we understand when you've got legal problems so biblical, not even an Etsy witch can turn your court case around. With James Bible and his team by your side, don't panic when your ark is lost in divorce or when a whale swallows your defense attorney. At Bible Law Group, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. When your legal problems hit biblical proportions, contact Bible Law Group and let our talented team of lawyers get to work, no matter the problem. Find us at BibleLawGroup.com.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at ProSculpt.com.
The LJ way is.
You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people, and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. Two friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there. And it was cool because you got to take them through, and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with. And so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in, 866-979-3776. What I need to know. You're all in the mafia now. Fitting. Holy cow.
Nice. I've always wanted to be.
You're all in the mafia now. What are your nicknames?
I just did a little generator thing right now.
I did too for yours.
And they gave me Michael Mad Dog Bumpus.
Ooh.
All right.
I mean, Mad Dog, though, is going to try to sue you for infringement.
What's yours?
Let's see. I got to get like a little like, hey, kind of like name.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm walking here.
Like, I can't do Lil. Now I'm getting into rapper names. Stacy, Two Eyes Ross.
Stacy No Game Ross.
Hey!
No games.
No games.
No, you don't play no games.
Yeah, no games, but everyone calls me No Game, and I get mad about it. No, it's not No Game. It's No Games, because you can't play games.
Explaining your name.
Curtis, Matt, your mafia name.
Something about like the size of my head or something.
Yeah.
Big brain, big head. I don't know.
Big brain Curtis.
Yeah.
Oh, big brain
the
Bruno.
dome. Yeah.
Ooh, Matt doesn't want to play this game.
Have you guys seen the nicknames of some of the people implicated in the NBA mafia thing?
No.
I'll just read a few.
Yeah. Let me see.
Flappy.
Stop.
The Wrestler. Juice.
That's okay.
Albanian Bruce.
That's
or
cool.
Big
That's
Bruce.
Cool. That's cool.
H for a guy named Horatio Who, which that's
that name is cooler than H.
Vizino.
Okay.
Sugar.
Great.
D Jones. That was for Damon Jones.
Okay, so
and
actual
then,
Damon
you know what's
Jones.
funny is that Terry Rozier's
actual nickname in the NBA is Scary Terry. That's what his nickname was in this.
Because it's a great
Dude,
nickname.
you blew your cover. Everybody knew they were talking about you.
Yeah. So what do we call you? How about
There are a couple
my
other
first name and last name?
There are a couple other nicknames I don't think I can say on the air.
Yeah, thank you for saving that. 866-979-3776.
I like Albanian Bruce. That's a good one.
What I need to know, like the Mariners lie detector videos from last spring training. Those were so funny, by the way. Which Mariner would you put in the hot seat, and what question would you ask them?
Oh, man. I would put Naylor in the hot seat, and I would ask him, who don't you like on this team?
I think honestly, I don't think Josh Naylor likes many people. His nickname's the Big Grumper.
I mean, it's always fun to do, like, one of the pitchers and go, like, who's the ace?
Oh, that's a good one.
Try to see, like, look, you're going to say it's you at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who you put in that chair.
Joe in Bellevue has a good nickname for you, Stacy. Caesar salad.
They call me Caesar salad.
I like that. I like it.
866-979-3776. Since it's the Seahawks bye week, says the 206, what grade would you give them so far? I'd give them an A.
B+.
Yeah, I can't be mad at the results.
B+.
What's keeping you from giving them an A?
Third downs are not very good.
They're not.
They're like bottom 2, bottom 3. The running game, the numbers aren't up, but it's effective. Defensively, no fumbles recovered.
Okay, I'm realizing I'm a pass-fail teacher here. Everyone gets an A.
And I would say you need like one more like for real threat in the pass game.
Okay, so technically, even though it's after the bye, the next game or even the one after that would be a truer midway point of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What could they do in either of those games? He's not going to do all those things, but what could they do in either of those games where you go, you know what?
Go like 65-70% on third downs.
That's a lot.
Bump those numbers up. Let's skew it a bit.
Let's see. You could ask Josh Naylor what his favorite Taylor Swift song is. Stacy the Roaster Rost. 866-979-37. Well, no, I was reading a few more. 866-9. Oh, someone said, Curtis, you can be Noggin. Curtis.
I like it.
Noggin, Curtis, Cranium.
Michael DeHands. Bumpus.
Oh, that's a good one, too. Okay.
Stacy Bag of Donuts. We've got a couple people saying that.
What I need to know,
good.
I have a Big Dumper costume for Halloween where I have a jersey, a trident, and pillows for my pants. Do I still wear it next week?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Absolutely.
Cal Raleigh is going to be one of the most popular
He'd be
costumes
honored.
in Seattle this week. This week.
And then you get to walk around with a bat, which is a cool accessory for a costume.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I would just be hitting stuff.
You would.
Yeah.
Man, that bat'd be so heavy
Mailboxes.
for you. You'd be holding that thing.
As my sister and her boyfriend have a bat by the front door, because you never know, apparently. And I've swung it and just done horribly.
You ever see the old quote from Randy Johnson? Like I think it was in the mid-'90s. A paper around here asked him, like, hey, what do you do for security? Because there was like a couple of athlete homes that were getting broken into.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I think he was serious about this. He goes, I keep a bag of baseballs by my bed because no one is surviving me throwing a baseball at them.
Okay, what unconventional?
true.
No, listen, this is my question now. What unconventional weapon would you have by your bed? You cannot choose a real weapon.
Oh, I've already got one.
Yes.
So it's this like leg roller thing that's supposed to like loosen up your muscles. It looks like a baseball bat, and I would go to town on somebody if they tried breaking in with that.
Bump your unconventional weapon to keep by your front door.
By the front door?
Yeah, you have to be ready. This is how you're
a
going to fight
rolling
off.
pin.
This is how you're going to fight off a zombie or an intruder.
Man. Unconventional?
I'm just going to start talking. I'm just going to go, oh my God, I need to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last night.
You're
And
going to
then
break in and be like, they're going to break in and be, are you mad at me?
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to start saying, I just think it's funny how, and then they're going to immediately leave.
There's got to be something I can throw.
Okay.
I have an
Football?
embarrassing answer.
Football's not.
Football's not.
Okay, think about
what
it
is
while
it,
Matt's
Matt?
talking.
I have a replica of Daredevil's billy clubs.
That's a great answer. That is
know
actually
what?
a great answer.
If someone ever breaks into my apartment, I'm going to embarrass myself and probably break them over their head.
Ooh, like a plastic Thor hammer.
Ooh, that'd be even worse.
Nunchucks. I'm going nunchucks.
Nunchucks. I'm just imagining you guys. No, because the thing is.
All I can do is one move.
No. Because with nunchucks, you can't just be like, okay, so I have these and I'm ready when you are. You got to show off a little bit.
You gotta intimidate them
what I
first.
mean? Yeah, like you can't.
All I'm doing is just circles. I'm just sitting there, just fast circles.
We could do this.
Let's get it.
Let's go. And then you got to kind of like, you got to do something to show that you can use them. Because you got to draw attention to it, right?
I guess.
I love nunchucks as an answer.
Nunchucks.
Wow, that's beautiful. I guess I have books. I'll use books.
Books.
And I'll
Throw the Encyclopedia Britannica at an intruder.
Take that. I get it 2 feet.
Oh,
Falls on the floor. All right, that'll do it for us today. Thank you again to our guests today, Alex Mayer and Shannon Drayer. They have had really long seasons. This is Brian Rowland-Smith, but all were kind enough to join us. And, of course, Benjamin Solak for catching us up on what's going on with the Seahawks and the rest of the NFL. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
Wyman and Bob.
It's going to take a bit for this team, I think, to get past this moment.
Every afternoon at 2.
You know, to be that close, and you were just steps away, and you came up short. Some of them sat in that dugout and watched the Jays out there celebrating, and they're going to use that as fuel.
You're never going to be happy unless you win the last game, right?
Yeah, but somebody's always going home disappointed, and hopefully it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that'll be easy to root for the Dodgers.
Plus, they've got my favorite non-Mariner, Mookie
That's
Betts.
right, Mookie.
Love Mookie.
Only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
The birth of the American supercar is roaring into LeMay, America's Car Museum, October 25th. Curated by racing legend Steve Saleen, this high-octane exhibition features icons like Hennessy, Shelby, Zinger, and more. Don't miss it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
The rainy season's here, Seattle, and your roof can't wait. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off today. Costly repairs and Band-Aid fixes won't hold up and just drain your pockets. Our technicians replace roofs year-round, backed by the strongest warranties. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss? Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card.
One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and